Start recording. All right, indeed. We are rolling. Yeah. Welcome again to a Streams of Spero side chapter, The War of the Garden, episode 4. I am Benito, your humble DM, and our our party with additional guests that you know some of the faces from before. Some of them are old Alanis players, so this has become a kick in the balls, so to speak, to relive this. But I'll let them introduce themselves, starting with Carl. And who are you playing?
So I'm Carl. I am playing the mage mercenary that has been hired on by Kylos in service to our good king. His name is Rodanius, and he is a war mage.
And Art.
Hi, I'm Art. I'm playing Sem Madness. I am King Killian's former bodyguard, returned from being dead in hell, and trying to figure out how to avoid all this stuff.
Yeah, a character from my home played game that was not aired. And Jen.
I'm Jen, and I'm playing Cascade Brine, the druid, and I'm along for the ride with Seer, having brought him back from hell.
And up to the top to Josh.
Yeah, so I'm Josh Newton, playing Electo Galanis, the true captain of the Heart of the Mermaid and the Friends Left Behind.
And again, also the character who's played from the home table
Yes.
that was not aired. And Mark.
And I'm Mark. I'm playing Captain Trokel Stoneforge, who is in charge of the city defenses. And I'm an artillerist, a dwarven artillerist. There. All flown from my head.
And Jacob.
I'm Jake, and I'm playing Killian Hawkins, the king.
Yeah. Not playing his older character, but playing the character also from the live table that was not aired. So we're doing a little catch-up there. So do a little catch-up. All right. We have found out that King Azerian has conquered 3 of the kingdoms in the Garden of Gaia. He has renamed them, all of them. And the most notable is New Greyheim, which was Old Sazo. That has made major concern, of course, in this empire, because no kingdom, no more than another kingdom, has been ruled, 2 of them at a time. So a third one has been unprecedented in the history of the War of the Garden of Gaia. So that has made the king, Kylos here, Killian, very concerned for his kingdom of Kylos and how that will fare. But Azerian doesn't look like he's stopping. More trouble seems to be brewing. Not only is that, apparently he is tied to the dread realm of the Ravenloft, and that seems to be empowering him and entrapping everybody in the Garden of Gaia, so it's been hard to kind of get other allies that the party could call upon, knowing that they are titans and friends to other titans in the realm of Spero. And they know that there's the War of the Gods has been happening, as they've saw another god be struck down. Aphrodite and Ares have betrayed Apollo, killing him and bringing his life and tenure to godhood in Spero to an end. And that has really shown Ronaldus that he needs to get back right away. Where was he? He was off making allies with the city of Lockett and a couple checking other places, but he took the daughter of Aleski Desire with him, and in some devilish scheme seems to be murking to agenda that we're not quite sure of. But she has also left his graces and moved on to do some of her own things in the Garden of Gaia, leaving Ronaldus to come back with his team of saboteurs. And everyone else has been doing some research, some studying, some reconnaissances. They found out more power. We know that Azerian can utilize animals, especially ravens, maybe wolves, of the land, much like a Ravenloft lord can do. So we are finding that he is definitely dangerous amongst the army he's already built and his elite guards that he has in position. So more and more seems to be discovered about what forces are at Azerian's disposal, but it doesn't seem like it's getting any better with the news for our heroes. So they are here to make up a desperate plan, either to side with him or fight against him. to see how they can stop Azerian in the Garden of Gaia before it gets out of control. And we will start with Ronaldius returning to the city of Kylos, safe, and allowing him to check in with our king, King Killian.
Alright, so Roldanius just shows up at the... He makes it back to the city of Kylos safely.
Is it the same day we left off?
No, it'll be like a couple days, a little bit later. So you guys had time to rest, recoup.
Really think about how fucked we are.
Yeah, you had a little chit chat amongst yourselves, so that could be added into the background lore that wasn't quite told. But yeah. So Ronaldus, you're presented to the king. You will ask, I'm sure, my lord may tell him to report.
So, we were successful in negotiating an agreement with Lockett. They will be providing support and troops. Has the ship already returned?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Because once there was really nothing wrong with it, so. Although
Yeah,
they say it was, but for you know.
Okay. So you already have the treaty then. We put ashore. There was some issue with the ship. This damnable fog got us turned around, and we were not able to return to the ship. We did. Sorry, Ben. I'm trying to remember. Did we actually make contact with the remnants?
Remnants of
one of the cities that was overthrown.
Yes. Let me check here on my right map here. Yeah, I gotta pull out my map as well. The old city of Aristople, you remember, was conquered.
Yep. Ashgate, they call it now.
Yep. So you made contact. That's where you left Desire.
Yep. Desire is working with them to coordinate their efforts so that when Laka and Kylos are able to sally forth and make war upon this usurper, then we'll be able to coordinate with them and be able to cause them to need the troops to be diverted elsewhere. So the big thing, though, Apollo's dead.
Apollo is dead.
How do you know that?
I saw it.
You saw him die?
Ares, the god of war and the goddess of beauty.
Well, they are both killers.
He was killed by his own family?
Hello.
I only know
Like-
what I saw.
But I understand in a god war, the Raven Queen killing. I'm drawing a blank. The god of messengers. But why
Hermes.
would
Hermes?
Hermes? Thank you. So does that mean Aphrodite and Ares have turned on their father and sided with the Raven Queen?
It would appear so.
Huh.
Where did this happen? How did you see this? How did you witness
It
it?
was at the walls of
New Greyheim.
yes. Call it what they want, Svazo.
Community jog.
Your Majesty, are there any of the Church of Apollo that you may summon for information regarding the same? Have they lost connection with their patron?
I'm sure there is probably a temple in the city that we can tap into for that information.
Isn't your new patron God of the Sun?
Yes.
That might be a difficult conversation.
Maybe.
If he's the new god of the sun, did he not take Apollo's powers, if not his place?
Yes.
In I don't know. In this situation, can there not be? We don't know if it's possible for there to be two gods of the same thing in different pantheons.
Right, and the gods are fickle and are going to demand
Yeah,
payment.
they could.
Is
You don't think
anyone proficient in religion?
Yes.
Okay,
Might be.
Throkil, you know that more gods can hold the same portfolio and domain. It is not uncommon. It just means that their power is divided and they're usually weaker. So a
Right,
god
makes
who
sense.
has the portfolio onto themselves are obviously more powerful, especially in that portfolio. But if the portfolio is very large, like war, that could make the god extremely powerful.
So then,
So
could
it's
death have
Ares'
been,
motive is clear.
What was that, Electo?
Sorry, I was saying, could this death have been symbolic then? Could it have been a passing of the torch, no pun intended, from one sun god to the other? Is that why Apollo is in a vulnerable state?
Or a choosing of sides.
Well, I will
Apollo was
say.
also a god of hunters and warriors.
Well, I will
So
say.
Ares' motive is clear.
Yeah, I will say DM to players. You got to remember, you may wish to look at your faith, Alana's faith. That may give you some idea.
Not it.
Sure.
So, Ra came from this old world of Alanis. Could it be that that's just Ares and Aphrodite deciding to throw their lot in with Silk and rise against their father and choose a new sun god and kill off their brother? It's what they do. They fight with each other. They interfight, scheme, use us for their play pieces.
I think that none of us here are equipped to answer that question.
Well, the gods know their own minds and they're inscrutable. They don't terribly care what we want.
Mark, give me a religion roll.
While Mark's rolling that, does it really matter? We have the god of the sun on our side.
It's only a 6.
Okay.
Let me. I have. Give me a moment to dig out the cool thing that I was doing for people last time. I'm pretty sure I have. There it is. Flash of Genius. Hey, I can give it +4 for a massive 10. Let's not bother.
Jan, give me a D20 roll right now.
Somebody roll good.
Right.
A 2? Okay.
It's gonna be a long night, y'all. We don't know.
King Killian, you could always
Cascade
cast your
bends.
negate-
Cascade screams and kind of doubles over. After writhing on the floor, she seems to be heaving very badly. Then she stands. Her eyes are a brilliant purple.
Oh no.
That's new.
And she goes.
Bad berries.
He's possessed.
She goes. Well, mortals, friends of my Titan, what questions do you have of my need?
Silk?
Yes. My Titan has called for my aid. She was willing to give me herself for these desperate times.
Can you stop Azerian?
My power here is limited against him because we are just coming into this world of Spero. In Alanis, I could have more control over him. But if there were more faith, more souls, that does change my ability to stop what he is trying to do.
Always more.
Always
Well,
more.
this definitely increases my trust in you.
Well, we are
For a few
talking about
dollars more.
gods and goddesses. It is how we survive. It is how we exist. It is what made us dependent upon having mortals in the first place. To disregard that would be much for all of you to disregard anything in terms of consuming your own food. You would just waste away and perish.
I don't know how you treated your followers there, but the gods that I know are fickle and could care less about the mortals and their needs.
Yes,
They manipulate us and scheme around with us.
those are the old gods indeed of this world. It is why so many are willing to change. It is why your friend Zindrid is making the change with her own people. These gods who despise their own people and cruelly use them as commodities are looking to be replaced.
So, what gods do you bring with you?
I can bring many.
And why should we choose yours over the old ones?
You seem
How do we
unhappy
know we're not
already.
going to end up in the same place?
You already seem unhappy. And I am here.
I am extremely unhappy.
Where is your god Zeus? This is what the city worships. If he is so important and he cares so much about any one of you, call him and do what I have done, because I am here. My friend the Raven Queen has come many times for you. You have seen others of my realm appear in front of you. When was the last time any of that happened for your gods? You want proof? Read a book, look at history. They only show up for their own kids. They don't show up for people who worship them.
I don't disagree with anything you're saying, but it sounds like trading one slave master for another.
You wish and want gods. If you wish to have all magic taken away from you, and you have no divinity, who will heal your sick? Who will heal your wounds? Who will help change the rain with the crops of your weather? There are many things magic does that is positive, that you take, again, for granted because there are things that you enjoy done by others that don't act on war. But those that abuse it are as many as you are in humans. What is the difference between a warrior and his blade and a thief, a brigade who wishes to go on the road and steal from someone who is traveling? Perspective is a wonderful thing when taken in the context of a much more worldwide approach, instead of a singular mind of where your background and your upbringing raises you, my guardian.
My experience with gods has been to be a plaything and a toy. I'm tired of that. How do you show us that we should trust you?
Why should I?
Sure, you could smite me with a thought, but that doesn't show trust.
Well, here's the thing, Similalis. I did not come here because you asked me to. I came here because Cascade did. You want trust? It is already within your party to wonder if you each trust each other. What price will each of you pay, knowing that death and doom can befall people around you? Would the king risk his daughter at this very moment, knowing that Azerian could send a team to strike at her right now? Would he give anything to me if I could absolutely guarantee her protection? Because you can't protect her, but I can. Those are the prices that one talks about when they talk about gods and goddesses, Simulatus. You have been brought back by gods and goddesses. That's how it all works. You don't exist because you're an amazing warrior with a pure code amongst your people. You exist on the fancies of the morals and the moralities of themes of the gods and goddesses all you mortals worship. And you are indeed a pawn in a grand war. Which side you wish to choose to fight for is absolutely up to you. That is the wonderful thing about your souls and your position. And I applaud you all. To think that I will grovel for you, or your old gods will grovel for you, you are a small little pea in the pond of this soup, in this scale of things. But it does not mean that many of us do not care. I wish to make a difference in this world, because if you do know my history from the history of the one that you're fighting now, you can see that we're both similar. But if I were in Spero and not in Lannis, I too have no fear of that realm grasping its tendrils into my soul.
Well, we are small, and we are food, and we may be meaningless individually, but you've also told us that collectively, without us, you'll starve.
Yes.
Now, I mean, when I walk out to the chicken pen, they're all excited to see me. They're all excited to see me because they're expecting some sort of boon, some sort of food, and they're not thinking about when I'm going to reach down and pluck one up, carry it off, never to be seen again. I could keep any of those chickens absolutely safe from any predator by adding it to my larder. That isn't necessarily what its parents wanted. So, yeah, having no magic would definitely be a distinct impediment. But trading one farmer for another doesn't mean we die any slower or that we eat any more. So, whether we're dealing with false equivalencies or not, we are caught up in a war that we do need to participate in. But I don't need to be talked around into believing that the new headsman is going to be any kinder than the old one. What actually would be useful is an explanation, at least, or perhaps a lesson. I'm not asking you to explain yourself. A primer on perhaps the motives or benefits as to why the god of beauty would kill the god of the sun, except perhaps that Apollo also had some aspects in beauty, and he had some aspects in hunting and in warfare. Would Aphrodite and Ares be able to split his powers? Is that their motive and benefit?
I will answer your two questions, for we seem to be on the same side of things. Now you say you're unwilling to see the difference between one farmer to another because we're all chickens in the coop. But yet, when you look across your lands, you had one king, and then you got a new king. If kings were all the same, as farmers are all the same, the old king, the new king, should be acting like the old king, and Kylos would not be in this predicament of threats. But that's not the case. This new king is a much more dangerous king. He knows how to think. He's very dangerous, and he has ties to things that are not quite healthy for those around him. But they are still two with the same title, much like two farmers. So if your theory is correct, I should not intervene because one title after another, held by a man to another man is quite the same. So, I'll leave you to your devices. That is your call. But as for what is going on with Aphrodite and Ares, well, they see that there was power because they come from the other land of Alanis. They were gods and goddesses in my realm of Alanis, where we all were worshipped together, and saw their churches bloom, and saw their people do many things. As I had to learn these things, for I didn't come being a child of a god. I made myself into one. So I understand what it takes to learn, to have faith in others, and see that grow my power. So maybe that's what they're doing. They've chosen a side, the gods of Alanis, to the old gods here in Spero.
Okay, I actually wasn't saying that the farmers were the same. I said that the farmers were very different, and we have no way to determine their difference. But
You can
we
know
can
that by
see some of the
treatment.
differences between Azerian and the previous kings. Although an undead king is quite a farmer indeed.
Different crop. So if Azerian takes over the world, which he's trying actively to do right now, we've already seen that he controls what churches get to operate in his cities, who gets to be worshipped in his cities. Are you sure that he'll allow the people to worship you to continue your power? Or
Yes.
any?
He will.
So do you want him even stopped? Do you care less then?
His reign of terror on the War of the Garden is only limited to my investment in the War of the Garden. My investment right now lies in the city of the Drow.
Then why are you here?
Because there's always potential in other things, Electo. You know that.
So, Silk, what are you the god of? Or are you the queen of all the gods, as Zeus is?
No. My forte became more of magic as things were developed in Alanis.
So who is the king or queen above you?
In Alanis, there is none.
What do you mean there is none?
The realm never allowed one of the divine to get as strong except Ra and many of the sun gods. So Ra has always been the balancer of my power, but I never really opposed Ra. The title Dark Queen was made by mortals, not by me.
So, I don't know. Cy actually turns around and walks away. He's just, obviously, he doesn't walk out, he just wanders off, like, you could tell he's totally conflicted.
So then let us celebrate for a moment that a goddess of your power and prestige has appeared before us. What would you have us do?
What? Casting aside the old gods is one way, but I already see your king has done that. His ties to Zeus have already been unraveled. So, if he was to push more of that in his city, that would be a boon to me. Having a much more fulfilling church in his city would be fulfilling to me. And that could spare Kylos and much of this. I do not know if I could get it out of the realm that is starting to form around Azerian, but I could offer it some protection.
in the 5 minutes that we have before Azerian conquers us, we would erect a church, turn masses to your following, and hopefully draw your attention from where you said your attention is, which is elsewhere. Am I understanding?
You think very small. Many of my things that change to the thing are led into your children. If you know Alanis, then you understand that long blood oaths mean much more to those of us in Alanis.
So my daughter, you want her to be what, a priestess of silk?
It's the only guarantee that I know that this church will remain.
And that'll guarantee the safety of the kingdom from Azerian?
You gonna surrender your children to a god to make a deal to save your own butt?
Save everyone, to save her butt as well. Do you think Azerian, has he shown that mercy to the families of the ruling kingdoms that he's taken over? Quite the opposite. They are the first to die.
As Silk says, power's in the bloodline.
What were the terms of the contract your father entered into?
Oh, where he sent us all to hell?
I'm sure he said that he was saving everyone as well.
Cy would be close enough to answer that. It seems as though it was Hades trying to give the former king more power, and Hades getting power for himself. It didn't seem like a save everyone. It seemed like a people gaining power. More manipulation.
Well, it can be argued that a king's personal power is also the kingdom's power, which would be turned to serving the kingdom, therefore its citizens. So there are a lot of rationalizations that can be made with that. I'm not saying that it's the wrong move in this case, but I'm saying watch your footsteps because they've already been trod in history. And consider her perspective, since I believe you have different opinions of that trip than your father did.
Well, it's not supposed to be an easy decision.
What other gods do you bring from your realm?
Regardless, when you saw Apollo killed, were they with Azerian's army? Like, clearly part of it?
Yes.
So, presumably, they would also be marching on us right now with him.
I would not hazard to guess what their motives truly are and what their actions will be.
Well, the only other choice is that we meet him on the field of battle and pray to whatever gods we hold close.
You have much to debate, much to decide. Many choices are definitely dire. Not everything is easy. But when you come from Alanis, you know that it was a way of life.
Well, we didn't come from Alanis, we're here.
You're like, you're
Sort
going to
of
be,
trying not to be there.
you're going to be a part of it now. Then, Cascade forms two stones. They're deep amethyst stones, very well cut into her fist. For your daughter, the princess, to be the priestess of silk, I will come to help fight inside for the city to keep Azerian at bay. But I want to see that you are a true king, and you can sway the people. And this other stone is for Rain Galanus. If Electo's daughter also would chose to be would chose the faith, then you have my absolute commitment to your side. And with that, her eyes flashed. Cascade's eyes flashed normal. And Cascade, you are back. You did hear the entire conversation. It was not known to you.
I look over at Electo.
I see.
Well,
Your decision isn't mine alone after all.
I didn't think she was going to do quite that much.
It was enlightening, to say the least.
Well, shit.
How old is Rain now, Benito?
Oh boy.
32.
No. All your children are very young. I think we had it.
They're very young. Yeah. She's the only child that I have, and she's not old. I think she's like.
I think.
5.
Is she 5?
Hold on one sec. After 3 years at sea, she had Rain.
Yep.
It doesn't actually say.
Scroll 5.
She's.
Well.
I mean, maybe. Well, how long? So how long after?
Yeah, she would be. Yeah, I think it's the same because. Well, maybe we'll say a year of you getting the crew together. It looks like.
Yeah. So maybe like 8, like in that, like.
Yeah, let's call it 8. That's cool with me. Put that in somewhere to make sure we have the note state.
No, that's awful. That's awful.
Yeah, I know.
It's awful. I think
Yeah, as we are all parents, that's exactly the shit of this fucking medieval fantasy that we all play. So yeah, it is awful, but we know now that how old she is. Because I think your daughter Cassandra is 13.
Old enough to not be happy.
Just hitting them teenage years. You can't make me, Daddy.
Well,
I don't
she
have to worry
almost
about that.
remember she almost left to go to Lockett herself. So
I'm
he's
well
already
aware of what a 13-year-old is like.
Yeah.
That's how old Grady is.
I should just go through a cop phase.
Rain is not the one that I have to worry about. It's Carme that I'm going to have to worry about.
Oh yes.
Explain this to the missus.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it's gonna be easy for me.
Yeah, right.
We're sorry that we're digressing, people. We are just parents.
I'm glad I was dead for that whole time now.
All right. I'm sorry. You guys are you have your situation now. Well, you have a lifeline if you choose a very very pricey lifeline.
I did not think that she was going to do what she did, and if that, by taking me over like that, if that ruins it, I should go.
It doesn't, because if we say no, then we're just back to square one where we were before anyway. We're fucked anyway.
She was just explaining how gods treat their food and that she promises to be a more present god rather than the absent gods that would treat us exactly the same way. So, same end treatment, we just get to deal with them more actively. And we get to pick which one is going to use us as food.
More micromanagement.
Yeah. As a DM, I just want to continue to make this more harder for you guys. Lay speaks up. She goes, I have a question that has been kind of bothering me for some time. Where does the Raven Queen fit into all this? That the fact that she brought back 5 of us from Alanis in this regard?
No idea.
You should have asked that question when there was somebody here that might be able to answer.
Well, I don't quite... I know that the Raven Queen and Silk, from what I gathered from the other group, had some connection with the Dark Elf people. But
Yeah,
I have a bad
Raven Queen
history
is-
with the Dark Elf people, so it was just hard for me to kind of bring that up
Yeah.
in my king.
Raven Queen is a patron to the Drow, if I remember correctly.
I hear newly, though. I think her and the Silk are newly added to this pantheon, to the Drow. And it isn't quite going received all that well. Which would mean...
What is the connection between Silk and the Dark Elves in your realm?
She has always been a very high patron to them, like almost sisters to Loth there.
So does the Raven Queen replace this Loth?
So,
I have never
well, I
heard...
know both worlds as well.
This is the thing, I never heard of the Raven Queen until... Some of these gods that she's talking about, Ra and the Raven Queen, I've never heard of in Wanda's.
I know Zindred had said her house, the first house, had switched worship from Loth to the Raven Queen, but that doesn't tell me anything about the Raven Queen other than hopefully she's better than Loth. It's not hard.
No, that's true.
So, I had been thinking about this, just pondering it over empty hours. And it had been said that Silk had been, one of my objections to Silk was that she was evil enough for this Dread Realm punishment, that she was pulled away from whatever world she had come from and placed into that prison. That was the depths of her evil. But then I was told that more people started worshiping her as the goddess of magic and either neutral or good, and that started to slowly sway her away from those depths of evil, potentially allowing her to even get this far away from her prison cell. What if that shifting, that transformation, was causing, there's no real good word for this, causing a calving, a splitting, a budding, where the evil was being excised from her divinity. Now, a person cut in half wouldn't survive, wouldn't become two new people. But a god splitting a pantheon, the worship, the faith, the food they're getting, you are what you eat, the punishment be falling onto the Raven Queen now, allowing Silk to move to a different realm.
Or the other way around, some duality relationship between them, where Silk and the Raven Queen are the light and the dark.
Electo,
Essentially, there was some conversation similar to that, because I was confused about why Azerian, because Azerian started out with relationships to Silk, and now has relationships to both Silk and the Raven Queen, and seems to be putting Silk away as being passé or soft or ineffective, and the Raven Queen is the hot newness that he thinks can get things done.
Having seen the Raven Queen and Silk together, and Cy, I don't know if you had the same conclusion that I did, but they didn't seem to be at odds with each other.
But they were definitely in league. Friendly, even.
So, I mean, if Azerian is thinking that the Raven Queen is his hot new thing, I don't think that she would, if she's like Silk, as I understand Silk, I don't think that she would align herself that way.
Cascade, I mean this with as much respect as one could muster in this moment. I don't think that you understand silk very well.
And I understand that, and that's why I said a minute ago, if y'all need me to go, I can go.
I don't think any of us understand silk that well.
And I think that what we just saw here today demonstrates why we need you here.
I'm in the room. I don't think I can actually like leave because of the mist thing.
Yeah, you're stuck with us.
Or you with me.
Sorry.
You know what? No. Let me take back what I said, Cascade. And let's presume for a second that this God who spoke through you was actually being forthright in what she's saying. If we try to understand the cosmology as it has been presented to us, Cy, you have seen the other side. You have seen what the other side of life is like. We have seen some shit, my friend. So what if she's right? That instilling her in the lives of those of us here in Spero offers some protection from Azerian, but that maybe that protection is not what we assume it would be. Because what they have said about these dread realms is that there can only be one rule. There can't be it's not like there can't be two kings, there can't be two queens, there can't be a king and a queen. There's one. There's a single figurehead at the front of these dread realms. So, Silk does not need to be some redeemed character who is now good, who was evil, because good people follow her. If what she needs is the food to gain power, maybe the protection that she offers Azerian is she takes the chair. And Azerian then must go someplace else. The Dread Realm reacts by expelling him. She doesn't have to be good for that to happen. She, in fact, needs to be the ultimate evil. The ultimate evil. But perhaps that's what she offers.
I don't like the idea of bending the knee to any god, never mind new masters replacing old ones. This is all...
I don't think we have the choice. I mean, that's not true. That's not true. We do have the choice, Cy. We can perish. That choice is still on the table. We can fight like honorable warriors of Spero. We can defend our patches of dirt in the face of cosmological terrors.
There might be a couple of stories about that.
One or two, I have heard.
So, in this other place, Alanis, how many times has a band of heroes defeated her and thwarted her plans and caused her great anguish because her plans did not come to fruition?
I only read some of their history, but there was a lot of heroes that stood against her.
Many great people came up to be those things. Titles and name were legendary to what I would imagine be very similar to these heroes that these old gods have spoke of for the little time I've been here. But to be a Greystoke, to be a Griffinclaw, to be an Earthheart, to be a Lakewell, they were everything to the people of Alanis.
Those are the
Those
names I remember seeing too.
those people, we the people, moved many cities, many kingdoms, many fortifications, and people, elves, dwarves, and humans, and halflings, fighting as one against her. That
So,
has always been what she was. And I'm told that Azerian came into that, but I don't know how, and I did not see that.
so does she tire of that game and seek a people that she can manipulate anew who do not know of her past sins?
Well,
It may not matter. Like,
she
here's
speaks
the
of
fun part. It
no,
might
Captain.
not matter.
When she speaks of perspective, she's not wrong. The history that we found out by many others, many late, is that Silk's evil is a punishment. What she became is a punishment because of her desires, of how prideful she was when she betrayed her teacher. When she was spurned by a lover of Tyr, she turned to necromancy and dark magic, and that betrayal ended to her turning on her master. That is when she was taken. She had love. She had desire. She had friends. She always maintained that. Even when she was growing her power. Before she was known as a goddess, she was just the Lord's sorceress. And then, I guess, years. It was just interesting that the group took so many of us from the same era. So a lot of that was happening where Azerian apparently came into power. We don't know. Verquillen is the only one that kind of lasted through most of this.
Verquillen says he's out looking for the other gods.
Verquillen is... Elves are very individualized in my place where they come from. They are known as ghost wolves. They just operate alone a lot. It's because the land seeks them. They have always had a hatred for the elves because they were the original people of the land, and they know how to twist the magic against it. Misa was a place that could thwart the power of the mist. It became a haven to all people.
So this ability to thwart the mists, what is required, or how do we potentially use this to stave off the mists while they're still in their early stages here?
It is only known to the elves, for what I know.
Well, all we need are some elven secrets and their famous ability to share what they know well throughout the land and be fine. Back to the steel then, I guess.
Yes, it's Verquillen that I do know of Verquillen when he first started. And then they had another elf they brought back. And he decided to go with the Dark Elf.
She means that he went with Zindred to go to Zeus to try and smooth things over.
That's interesting, but I don't know the motivations of the people who went to see Zeus.
Lady Zindred was very, very motivated to prevent this god war because she knew that would bring death to all. That we'd get caught in the middle.
I mean, it's a great thought. I appreciate Lady Zindred's desire to stop the god war, but now two of Zeus's sons are dead. You think he's gonna not go to war?
I didn't say that she would succeed, and he was asking her motivations, and that I fear for my friend greatly.
They were done with the sincerest of hearts, it appears.
I think the deaths of Zeus's children are also a new development, which they may or may not even have been aware of at the time that they left.
They knew of at least one. It happened right in front of her before she left, and that's
True.
the reason she chose to go. It was the catalyst. Weird, she's drow, but she definitely had the best interest of everyone at heart in that decision. So let me shift a little bit here. We're constantly talking about Silk as being evil, and Silk as being the bad. Silk is awful. Silk is a goddess now, worshipped as a goddess. She's been moved off of that evil through the power of her followers. The bad we're worried about is Azerian, who the realm favors, not Silk. Is it so bad to accept her offers over the gods that don't even respond to us?
Good gods don't ask for your children as sacrifice, Cy.
They weren't asked to be sacrifices. They were asked to be priests. They were just
Almost every god in this pantheon has done that before.
asked to be priests, not sacrifices. It's a big difference.
And you could follow a fire, and the fire could keep you warm until it burns you or burns your house down. And that's all well and good. We're all familiar with those risks, and we found ways to help mitigate them. But right now, a fire is asking us to follow it without any ability to control or even be aware of when it's going to keep us warm and when it's going to burn the house down. Or which children it will choose. Or
at least this fire
asking you to throw the kids into the fire yourself.
Yeah, but at least this fire is speaking to us. The fires that have been here before ignore us and don't tell us anything and just manipulate us and make deals to have us killed so they can gain power. This one is offering power to mortals. I would assume positions of high priesthood in these churches of what would be magic.
I suppose the phrase "the devil you know" is apt here.
Agreed. But the devil we know doesn't do anything. It just hurts us. This one is definitely offering something.
Well, actually, she pointed out that these gods don't talk to us, but they do things for us. Because she said that if we get rid of all the gods, there would be no healing magic. There would be no crop magic. We wouldn't be able to recover from disasters as quickly. So there is action and benefit from them. There just isn't open conversations, and certainly not ones that were stimulating and as beneficial as the last one that we just had.
So do we follow the gods who speak but don't listen, or the gods who listen but don't speak?
I don't think the gods we have now listen. They just do what they're required.
They're not required to do anything. They're gods. So they are listening to something. You pray in the morning and you get what you asked for, and then you move on. Whether it's a functionary, it's part of their bureaucracy that brings that about. Striking off the head of that snake means that bureaucracy goes away as well. I'm not arguing particularly either side right now. I'm not sure what I would do in this. Well, if I were asked to give up a clan member to a god that I didn't know in exchange for dubious safety, then I would be compelled to say no. But that's a different cultural thing than the thing that you're facing right now. So I don't know what I would do in your place. I do know what I would do in my place. But trying to keep the two sides clear what their traits are without the agenda-driven false equivalencies that we've had laid in front of us is what I'm trying to do.
Ace
Your
Ghost, what
Majesty,
is...
if you feel that this is the best path forward, then I will away and speak with my family. I think you're the only one here with the authority to make the decision.
Oh, I think it has to be both our decision and this one. We are giving up equal parts of our lives.
I don't think
Oh, I
she
agree.
required that you both do so. I believe both would be a greater boon.
She did say both, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she said both.
She kind of knew
Yeah,
that...
one for
She kind of knew that Killian
one
was
for a
going to
small
do it,
chance,
but she
and
wanted to see
two
if he
for
could rule.
guarantee.
Yeah. She wanted to see if Killian was actually a ruler, so she had to convince Electo's child to be a part of it. Thus there are 2 purple amethysts.
I'd like to try to pray to Ra and see if he'll answer and has any insight.
How do you wish to pray?
I don't know how the hell I usually pray. Whatever.
Well, you actually have an artifact of
I
it.
simulated that one. I look at the sun and sword really lovingly.
Okay. Roll me a d20.
Sharpen it. Just a regular.
Only you would sharpen a lightsaber.
Oh, no, terrible.
One of those nights.
All right.
Wrong sword.
You feel a very hot burning amongst, like, in your veins, like your blood is boiling. I come during your cry, even though you are obscured in a very dark realm.
So the mist is affecting you being able to show up.
It is always affects the gods.
How do you feel about Silk? Right to it.
Silk is not the old enemy that those who read Alana's history think between me and her. I am new to her realm. Her old wars were with the god from another realm, long forgotten.
So you're neither here nor there on Silk.
She speaks true. She changed. She was a minion to this, but I became something more of an opposing to Azerian's undead. The people of Alanis worship me to have sunlight, to have warmth, to allow crops and people to feel nourished, but mostly to burn the foul undead.
How can we even stop him from turning this into the Dread Realm? He has gods on his side. They killed Apollo, and they march with him. How are we supposed to stop him?
Well, you've taken one side if you take her. Silk controls the gods that come here because they all know that she is the polar spike of the divinity of this pantheon. The fact is that Silk just hasn't made an enemy of Azerian.
The only way to stop this place from becoming the Dread Realm is to defeat him.
Yes.
Even taking Silk's offer wouldn't stop it.
Well, there is a way that he could be banished if he's to be pulled back into the Dread Realm. But the Dread Realm is a thing, an entity of its own that is even beyond gods to handle. But
So how would we make it pull him back? If
that's
nobody can...
the thing. You gotta remember, everything in worlds are by polarized individuals. When she speaks of blood oaths, that's part of things that grow into it. The old names that she speaks of is because those are bloodlines that instill power. There are gods that know of the fates, the strings that go along our lives, your lives. They can spread in different directions, or they can ravel into mostly array one direction that you go. To have those courses change, one must be able to foresee that and have that power. So those gods are covenanted. But gods like, or individuals like Azerian, are trapped souls. They seem very powerful to those who are powerless. But things that they suffer with are great, which makes them, one would say in your place, crazy. If you defeat something, you are looking at marching men and soldiers across the field of battle. To him, you will never win that game, because he is a being who can make those that fall down come back up again. I could give you power to smite against that, but, as she tells you, you are only one paladin of Ra. The church must need to change. People need to really believe for that to have an effect. So you are at a disadvantage, because he has already been shaping the faiths of the people around him. He has faith of that on his side. He has made sure that the Raven Queen and Silk are not his enemies. He knows the gods are changing. He's already had that plan. So you must defeat who he is as an individual and the power line that makes him. The Dread Realm, my chosen. You're fighting the Dread Realm. You're not fighting Azerian.
It's not a tangible thing to defeat, though. How would we defeat something that is as much an idea as a thing?
You already started. What is the one thing that we all talk about that is incredible? Magic. And you're talking to the goddess of magic with her titan. The thing is, you are thinking about a planetary battlefield. Men marching against men. You are not made to do that. You are champions, you are titans, and you are great heroes made for a better fight. But you must figure that riddle yourself. As I said, the mists have been a capturing prison for me as well. And you feel his touch fade.
Super. I'll relay that to them and see if they can make
Okay.
get any ideas out of that.
Electo and Ronaldus, each of you will roll an Arcana check. Throkel, roll me a religion check.
It's a 10 for me, Ben.
Okay.
Can I
24.
get Arcana? I've been Arcana kind of guy.
Yeah, why not? Give me an Arcana check. 16.
Oh, got a 16 finally.
Nice.
21.
Okay, Ronaldus and Somalis. Magic-wise. Basically think gates. So you're talking about a gateway. Something is open, and Azerian is allowed to exist in this plane because the gateway is open. So he's got a lifeline between the Dread Realm and Spero. So you could fight the guy, but really he's kind of like drawing power through this lifeline.
If we close
gate-wise.
the gate, it would snap it and.
Correct. Now,
Yeah, figure out
Throkel's
what that is.
religion will kind of understand that, again, with gods, divinity, there are more of a belief system. So that they're more of an eternal structure phased, powered through men. So, Ra can do some things, but depending on how powerful each location is, which would mean much of a difference. Now, here's the thing. The old gods of Spero have kind of like set themselves back a lot more So they have old tales of old stories and old locations of old things. But bad enough for Cy's kind of argument, a lot of this, most of their old magic is made into making old monsters. So the most horrible things that are kind of like active in the realm are their monsters, children, or things that they've kind of touched or cursed and made a creation of that. So that's kind of where the spectrum that you're kind of looking at to kind of help you guys figure out this desperate battlefield. You have to figure out how to work Azerian to cut that gate, that lifeline, whatever that is, however that is. You guys aren't Dread Realm experts, but there are resources if you roleplay them through.
Yeah, we have to figure out what that is.
Actually have a spell called Gate Seal.
And that's
Also-
it. Campaign wrapped up. Good job, guys. We'll see you on the next one.
I don't remember why I took it, but I took it.
I think that closing that portal to get rid of Azerian also works against Silk's interests and would cut the bridge for her as well.
Well, she's
So
an idiot. So
take that into account when considering how things are done. If she doesn't care because she has faith on this side, then he probably doesn't care because he has champions on this side also.
Ronaldus and Samadas, and please roll another Arcana check. This is based on your spell that you're boasting.
I mean, it's only a 4th level spell, but
Yep, I still want to be clear.
26.
Ronaldus,
Yeah, I got like a 25 on that.
25. So both of you know that is definitely a good spell. But here's the thing with Dread Realm: whatever side that Azerian's on, if he's Dread Realm, then that's Dread Realm. So if you do it in Spero, Spero becomes Alanis, for sure. If you can get him through, back, if the gate so-called is open, and he's back there for a moment, then you do Realm Seal, he's out. But that's how that spell would work. It just won't work part of that. And here's the other thing. If you were to tag it with Banishment, he's sort of into Realm right now as a material because of whatever the Raven Queen did. So you have some divine individuals who've done some things that you're just not quite sure they've broken the laws of, so to speak, of the normalcy of life.
Yeah, that's why when he gave me the Ring of Banishment, I didn't think it'd work because he's here in this realm, so I didn't think that was the best plan there.
But it could be a part to it.
Right. It's a step.
What if I use planar shift? Is that, I mean, if I was to
You could do that,
touch him,
but there could be a
and-
chance that you couldn't come back, knowing the Dread Realm.
I understand that. But
So
if
you
I-
planar shift him back to Alanis. Cy
And you
closes
close
the
the
gate.
gate.
I'm willing to risk it.
Mark, you muted.
I mean, he wouldn't even have to see me coming. I could be a flea. He wouldn't even see me, and I could be on him and hit it.
I'm sure
that he has some awareness of the things that are around him. There are assassination attempts all the time.
Well, I will let you know,
I'm-
the Dread Realm, remember, and this is something that you know from the Ravens. He is hyper aware of beings because the realm grants him through a lot of different means of figuring that out. You wouldn't
So
be
he
as
could be-
invisible as you would think.
he could be basically be listening to everything we're saying right now.
That is correct.
That's okay. Well, I mean, maybe not okay. But if he's listening to us, that's not okay. But so maybe
Oh,
we
wait.
don't try to trick him into being here with us. Sorry, go ahead, Cassie.
No, actually, so the spell says a willing creature.
Okay.
That's okay.
If he wants
So
to
let's play with that. And Ben, you're going to need to let me know if this is something that I'm remembering from a previous game or if this is something that Electo knows. But there was something that was talked about with Azerian and his previous bride in Alliance, right? That's current. That's knowledge that Electo has.
I would say by now with Cascade and some others, because they were given some lore. I'm not going to take that away from you. He does have a previous bride, and you now know he's married to a current one.
Right. And in fact, his current bride was Killian's betrothed before Azerian married her, right?
Right.
Not necessarily.
No, current one.
He basically rescued her from death. She was supposed to be an earlier, maybe. She was kidnapped by pirates, and then tried to rescue her. She was killed in the rescue attempt. Killian's group found her, and then chose to give her one of the stones to bring her back to stop the war between the two kingdoms, which it did do until Azerian married into the family. And in truth, he has not warred with Kylos fully. There's always been attacks here and there, but that's always been common among the kingdoms. So, yeah. Okay. So it did bring peace. So you do have history. These two cities have long histories with it, Kylos and Savazo.
Okay. So assume a bunch of preamble here, but I'm going to cut down. I'm going to do the TLDR.
Yeah.
As Electo starts to put together this idea. But basically, if we need Azerian to be willing to go in order for Cascade to do what she needs to do, then maybe we can play on the sickness of confusion that plays into Azerian's mind when he gets jealous or in his feels, right? And play on this connection to his lost love in some way to make him think that that somehow Cascade has the key to get him there, make him willing to agree to travel with her in this way. Is this making sense to anybody else? Is that you see where I'm going with this?
Lace
We
will
have to
go.
convince that he wants to go.
When Silk was a Dreadlord, and this is only where I speak of knowledge of a Dreadlord, we knew that there was always going to be a paladin. It was my children, friends of mine before, that ended up with a mantle that became her desire. There was always going to be a paladin of purest moralities and leadership and high qualities, and she always fell in love with him. The realm forced her to fall in love with him. Now, I am unsure if that is Azerian's curse. Is there any way we can speak to Verquilin to confirm his?
How would we get in touch with him?
I can always try sending again, but it's no guarantee.
That's if you could see, as Electo said, if that is his desire. If it is, we do know that there will always be something the realm will make him do, regardless.
Yeah.
And that could be the angle.
If we can confuse him somehow into thinking what he wants is somewhere else, can we, for that briefest of moments, let him drop his guard for just a moment? It's an idea.
I read further, and I can do unwilling creatures, but they have to make a charisma saving throw.
I don't think we want to bet on that. I think we need a sure thing.
Well, I got 25 words with sending. What's the question? In 25 words or less.
What's the Dread Realm's curse on Azerian?
I think we want more specifically, is the realm's curse on Azerian that he has to marry. Shit. Okay. I'm trying to use it and do it in a spreadsheet so it'll count for me. To marry a paladin. That's only 13 words.
Still the point.
Anybody want something better than that?
Well, I don't have any
Jacob, you're
refinements to offer.
All right,
I mean,
so
I guess are we going to be okay if he answers back just yes or no? Because that's a yes or no question. He might come back with a yes or no, unless we ask something more open-ended.
What if he's doing something? You gotta be polite about it too. Sorry if I'm bothering you. This is Cy.
Salutations.
I think asking him what the curse is probably a better approach rather than, is it this paladin?
We can say that and say, what is it?
Yeah.
if not, what is it? That's 19 words.
Fire it off.
Sorry, Cass.
You got enough room in there for thank you for your consideration and time.
Actually, I can add thank you. I have room to add thank you. So it is the Dread Realm's curse on Azerian that he has to marry a paladin. If not, what is it?
You can also do X's and O's.
No, it's not. That's
Oh,
21 words.
Laughing.
Fortunately, I know I have met Brooklyn. Then send it again and go, why can't you just come to us? No, I'm kidding.
It'd be a lot easier if you were just here.
Yeah.
Maybe for all but one of us.
It'd be a lot cooler if you did.
Dear Biffle the Quillen, can you come hang at the palace? Your bestie, Cy.
Pissed.
Or just you up.
That's a full
Wow.
use of a third level spell.
Very well done. I need to make a chaotic character who just does that.
I mean, it saves you 23 words.
You up?
So, spell ascent, it only takes, I believe it only takes an action. One action, yeah.
Okay. Are you sending it? Actually, a messenger?
Sorry, no, I can if you'd like.
Nope, I know what it says. I'm going to send you something personally. Okay.
I read it.
New phone, who dis?
Who
This one
dis?
who dis.
I mean, so, back to the mundane. Worst case scenario. Fight. We're ready for a fight, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if
We are more ready than we were.
Ultimately, he will lose. Because what does he want? He
ultimately
wants to
Azerian
be
will lose?
the great general, the winner, the victor, of the conqueror of the continent, of the world. He
Right.
will lose.
Ultimately, he may lose, but we're trying to make his defeat before our demise.
Remember,
Indeed.
he wants to be the hero. That's what he's not going to come out as. He's going to get part of what he wants, and it's going to be bittersweet. It's not going to be exactly how he wants it. He's going to end up the conqueror, and he's going to be hated as a villain and a despot and all those kind of things, and that's his torture. Have what he wants, but not have it.
I can see that, but it's partially mitigated by the fact that we've heard the stories that the towns that he conquers end up liking him, that he is actually a good administrator, and creates a situation that
Mark,
the conquered are actually more in favor of him.
I think you're mixing up your old Alanis lore because I don't know that that's come out in Spero. It's true in
No,
Alanis.
I thought that for New Greyheim, for one of the cities here, that he has better approval numbers than the previous reign. Maybe not high, but better.
But he also destroyed Hollowdale completely, and it's full of undead. And I don't believe Ash Gate, and I think Ash Gate was devastated too, wasn't it? Ronaldius? Wasn't Ash Gate?
The military, what was left of it, has scattered and is fighting loose tactics, is a good way of saying it.
But the city itself was sacked, right?
I don't know. I never actually got to the city.
Oh, okay. When Ben stops typing, we can ask him what we know.
Last question.
What happened at Ash Gate?
Ash Keep.
Ash Keep after Azerian conquered it.
It was in possession. The people were still fighting. That's why Desire stayed. She joined the resistance. People fighting other people. It was only Hollowdale, the Hollow place, Polisario, that was completely wiped out.
Okay, so he hasn't really conquered Ash Keep. He's conquered.
Well, he's conquered it in terms of like I said, there was occupied. This wasn't the military. These were resistant fighters, like guerrillas that were just sabotaging stuff, like you were planning on doing. So the army is defeated. The king and queen are dead, or captured, or something. He's claimed that throne. Like he has all 3 thrones of the places that he's renamed. He's just there's just people.
Undead, right?
What's that?
Hollowdale's full of undead.
As far as you know, yes. Like he razed Hollowdale pretty badly and caused a bunch of undead things and ravens and stuff to occupy that.
Alright. So Verquillen has responded. Our plan is not based on facts that are accurate. His curse was that he was to try and be a great Greystoke, and his failing was his lack of empathy, and heroes changed him to actually be empathetic. So it's like we'd said before, he wants to be the hero. He wants to be the one everybody loves.
So all we need to do is teach a vampire emperor empathy and we're done? Sure.
Somebody's done it before, apparently, according to Verquillen.
Did it?
Okay. So how do we convince him that the best way to be beloved by the people of Spero is to voluntarily leave and know that he will be considered the greatest hero among our people for doing the hard thing that he didn't want to do? How do we convince him that can happen?
I don't think
you want to be. Hey, you want to be a hero? Fuck off.
Yeah.
No, but if he doesn't want
He
to,
could be a great hero by clearing out these interloper gods. Everybody likes to drive out infidels.
He's with them, though. Those are his gods.
That's a branding issue.
to him, Zeus and the others are foreign.
Are in the way.
That won't work.
Well, to him, they're native, local.
That's
Jen, did you check your message?
it's a non-starter because he's not going to turn against his gods. That one's not going to work. He's with his gods. So, and asking him to leave when he thinks he's doing the best by conquering things isn't going to work either. He needs to be shown empathy. He needs to learn empathy.
Do we know that he thinks he's doing the best thing?
I don't.
We probably
That's
just
his first,
assume that he's
to
in
do
front.
the best thing, and he's failing at it.
No, but seriously, do we actually know why he is going on a rampage?
Well, he's not going on a rampage. He's conquering.
He's
Well, conquering and
Well,
rampage are close cousins.
Well, they're close cousins, but they're distinctive enough from each other, and that a rampage generally has no direction, and a conquest definitely has a direction.
So what's his direction?
Tell that to the peasants.
The peasants aren't who we're talking about. The peasants are who we're trying to save.
Yes, and his lack of empathy toward the peasants that he's conquering might be a wedge in, because conquest of cities is pretty non-empathetic.
Good point. I like it. I like it. Yep. So, convince him somehow that he's doing more harm than good by telling him to look around. I mean, yeah, I mean,
this is a ridiculous idea. Could it be as simple as, because, again, if he needs to gain the empathy, then pointing out that what he's doing is basically the needless slaughter of thousands, hundreds of thousands, or however many people it is. Thing one. But if the other thing that he wants is to be heroic, how do we let him know that we would view him as heroic, and that reputation for heroism, if he stops this conquest, would stick? Do we rename Spero in his honor or something?
Brooklyn didn't say heroic, he said great.
yeah, I said great.
It's the greatest Greystoke thing you could possibly do by naming a continent after them.
No, that is your interpretation. Great would mean
I know. That's
no.
totally Josh's interpretation.
Yeah, and I want to make this important for Electo. Great would be meaning to him is the most known Greystoke of all time, which in entirety he really is.
He wants to be famous, not infamous. Yeah.
But there are other things which now others may know that may add to this.
Well, yeah.
I seem to remember that when he was conquering Alanus, that it didn't matter how many heroes were thrown at him; it was all politics. And didn't he have an artifact or something that changed him?
Out of game? I know the answer to that, and so does everybody else.
So yeah.
I don't, but that's okay. I'm just.
Several of us do.
Well, the more you push Cascade, remember, Cy, you sort of know that the timeline got pushed into her head. I am giving the Alanis timeline, which I'm kind of sort of referencing, is through Cascade's head. Jen obviously doesn't know Alanis, so we're trying to help her out with a lot of those things. But if you push those same questions, I will allow you guys to help come up with the answers that you guys already know, so now your characters would know.
So, you seem to think there was an artifact that changed his viewpoint on the world?
I think so.
I'm sure that there are artifacts that can change a person's moral compass.
So Cascade, what I kind of wrote to you was the fact that, remember, the only way the heroes got to him was not through armies, but politics.
Can I get Arcana check, Ben?
For...
To see if I know of any artifacts that change moral compass alignment.
Yes.
Something like a hat or something, maybe.
There are legends and stories of many things.
Yeah, I'm actually, to be fair.
Books that corrupt one's
Did you get natural 20?
Turn it pure.
Okay, you definitely know the Helm of Opposite Alignment.
Yeah.
And you know that is an automatic.
Yeah.
I was thinking the same lines as Carl was like, yeah, I'm not going to look for specifics because there's probably a few.
Yeah.
Well, this is also, you are the one granted thing I'll give you in Spero is that you do know high magic. I mean, this is a high magic campaign, so magic items are abundantly around and available.
Yeah.
Much like, look at how much you guys are armed.
Wait, you mean like a helm of alignment?
That would be one of the things that would probably work. It would be better if he was willing to use it.
Yeah, with that, a ring of wishes might even work.
Do we have access to one?
I don't think so.
Well, that's probably something you'd only find at the kingdom level.
If only we were a king.
But there's probably someplace. Yes.
Let's check the coffers.
I said, Ben, do I have any stories or legends of such a thing?
Well, I will give you something this, Ronaldus. You literally spoke to somebody who easily can fabricate one.
Like, just now we talked to somebody?
Yeah, just now.
Oh no.
You could always check with the caster of the High Owls to see if there's something
But I will-
in there.
Oh, I bet Silk could do it.
But I'll give you something else. If you could get out of the War of the Garden, it's very likely that the artifact could be in St. Augustine.
I can make magic items, but I need to check my notes if there's something that I could pull off.
Oh, yeah.
When I was at the tavern, didn't I hear about some... There's something about travel between here and St. Augustine, that there was like some like underground way that goods were moving back and forth between the two kingdoms, because like normal shipping lanes were completely obliterated, but
Yes.
that there was... Am I remembering this correctly, Ben, or am I just
Squirrely
totally...
Jim, the moonshiner.
No,
Yeah.
there's you
Pretty
know
much- no,
there are smugglers. You were told that there are people who are moving goods, but the likelihood that you guys could get out because the land knows you, very slim. Your Arcana check will let you know that.
Oh, we're too famous.
You're too famous.
You become involved in the story.
Can't throw me in the trunk of the the sedan.
That's the whole
Sneaking
thing
in.
that we mentioned about like Cascade trying to be animal form, trying to sneak in to do the spell, stuff like that. Whatever your approach to Azerian would be that. But what I gave her was the fact that if she was to spout the timeline, and I'll give you guys an opportunity so we don't have to bore the listeners, but I'll kind of do a brief read. Remember, Azerian conquered many of the kingdoms all around him. Like he ended up building others. When he took Khazgoroth, it was one-on-one combat. When he took a lot of other places, though, he took it because he already had the title of the throne of Khazgoroth. So he just politically moved down the chain, and he had military might. He knew he was a impressive and imposing military commander with the type of armies he had. But the thing about Azerian's greatness was he wasn't bound to fighting with just blade. He was like, I know what your rules are, I know your laws, and I'm gonna make you buy, which is why for gods, Tyr had a hard time opposing him. Which is, like I said, what you just heard from Ra, why Ra was the most opposing god to Azerian. Tyr ended up almost serving Azerian in a lot of aspects because he was that manipulative in the terms of what he had. So to have things done, Kelim Dorel or Kareth Rog married off their daughter to kind of solidify things. And as things were kind of getting normal and he had to rule people, people got closer to him because the guard got let down. He couldn't stop a lot of things, and they kind of found some item, found them out the helm of alignment, and then approached him and just like did what heroes do, defeat the odds, and got that on his head. And that changed Azerian, and Alanis got all frazzled with the Dreadlord situation now being unclear. But that is what I'm saying, because Killian, being the king of Kylos, gives you political sway in the theater of actually talking and finding a way to get close to Azerian. You have that. You don't need an army. You can have that. Now, the approach is how do you get him and what are you going for? Because to get him to sway to what you want to get him to the plane thing has to be political. That's the game that he can't stop. That's what the realm is going to force him. He can't stop conquering.
But if we get our hands on this helm of alignment change, convince him that it's for his own good to do so, he then becomes good. And vampire or not, I don't mind following a good king.
Well, if you want to do the helm, you don't need to kick him out. But if you can't get the helm, I'm saying that's how to kick him out is the politics.
I think both ways need a little bit of politics.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna let somebody just slip a helm on his head to change him again. How do we convince? What can we use to convince him to go back?
Well, you're talking about someone ruling. I mean, there's already things opened up, and again, I'll help game it for a little bit because Lace is here. When he was ruling Alanis, it was just Alanis. He now is supposedly ruling Alanis and ruling the Garden of Gaia. So
if somebody's taking over, if there's a threat to his rule in the other place, and Alanis, that might make him go back to solidify it,
or there's a resource land that he may wish to take that will allow him to take the rest of Spero. If you were to lie. You now know there are more realms. This is where the things have changed. This is not just one land. You know that there's many realms being split because you have Desire. Desire knows that there's 9 layers of hell. You know of Olympus. You know the realms of the elemental planes. These are things that could fool him to go to plane shift.
A better target than us.
Correct.
Yeah, we would have to be able to lie successfully to sell out somebody else to get him to leave here.
Yes. Now, I don't think you're the biggest moral bunch, so we know that's not a big deal. But it's an option.
Salted.
Jacob, you were talking about siding with him before this game even started. Don't even lie to me right now.
I just want to be an evil character.
Here's still an option, buddy. You don't have to leave.
You almost always have them. It's okay.
Not out of the clear yet.
What about Olympus?
Send him after Olympus. So if he can rule Olympus, then that's the peak. That's the ultimate realm.
But that doesn't actually get him out of Spero or the Garden of Gaia.
Well, it's another plane, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not.
Well,
it's another plane.
What if I
It is another plane,
But
and
if
he
you
would
win,
continue to kill gods that everybody here worships, but you wouldn't be affected by it because you don't have an old god here.
Well,
I think we need to think a little further than one that has so much involvement and connection to our own realm.
what I'm saying is, if you can think of someplace on another plane to tempt him, I could tell him I'm taking him there, and not.
So that's a really good question, actually. I suppose, does he need to be willing to go where you say? Does he need to be willing to go where he's actually going to go, or just where he thinks he's going to go? Is that what you're suggesting, Cascade?
That's exactly what I'm saying. I
He's
don't.
just gonna take him from
Jen
like
doesn't
that.
know if the spell works that way, and Ben would have to give me his interpretation.
I'm going to give
But
the party.
That's what Cascade is.
I'm going to give the party, because Cascade, that's a great idea. I'm going to allow the party right now, every one of you to roll a d20. This is going to be a group roll. This is pure luck. This is just
You're gonna
based
take
on
him
luck.
to the hell of itchy buttholes or something instead of the realm of gold.
Well,
I
I was.
contributed 19.
Okay?
I got an 8.
I got a
2.
2.
Fuck me! What is going
1.
on?
Roll call.
God damn!
I got a 15.
I rolled worse than the last roll.
You have.
I will add Flash of Genius to 4 rolls if that's permissible. The highest rolls. I know I can't change a 1.
Yeah, I'm not really changing that. Carl, what did you get? Did I check on the
I
game?
rolled an 8.
An 8? Okay. Luck is not with you guys then.
Mark, we tried.
You're gonna have to use something else, and then maybe I'll help. But Cascade, you are on something.
Yeah, we have to be careful too that where he knows about other realms, he was raised in a different one, he is trying to conquer another one. He also has the means to move between them by himself.
I'm gonna
So,
say
just
one more
because
thing
we-
too. Sorry, I
What?
just apologizing for interrupting you. I'm gonna call out my Alanis players. I'm gonna allow you to have this knowledge if you can just think of it. So Carl, Josh, Art, and Mark. This has been, if you think hard, and I know this will be tied to our old friend. If you think hard on that, there could be the solution that Cascade has talked about that Azerian will bite for. That is
Jen, it's
my
not gonna be our fault.
that it's not your true fault. This is my love to you guys and a love to a friend who's definitely called me out many a times for things that
There's
will
something
talk
with these
about
old
a
characters.
long history.
We could offer him the Soul of Ashton.
Not like that. A
I was
place.
gonna say Misa.
Or Razan. Probably
Lisa.
Razan. I
No.
can't keep track of the
Wait,
shrub that is the Greystoke line.
bloodlines. So does that have something to do with Augustus?
No.
Okay.
Keep naming old
She's
characters.
looking for something to conquer. What's a place in Alanis that was never conquered?
But not as a Greystoke. This is hard. I'm giving it all you guys a chance to
Yeah.
break out because it's not something a normal character would think of. I don't think in normal sessions, that's why I had to give you guys a teaser. But I think it's a fascinating idea by Jen to something that would help your guys' campaign.
You're talking about a place other than Alanis he would want to go,
Correct.
and not in Alanis.
Correct.
Then it would be the Forgotten Realms, which is where Alanis came from.
No, where he was raised.
No, he's right. What would a
wanna go
Greystoke?
back-
What would a Greystoke? What would the greatest Greystoke want to do that any of the Greystokes in history have not been able to really do?
Bring Alanis
Oh,
back to
turn
the
it around.
Forgotten Realms.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Put it back.
To put back the lineage where he came from. Like, his father never was able to go back because Alanis would never let him. And it was never something that he actually thought in his head because that's the whole trickery of the realm.
So where in the Forgotten Realms did the Greystokes come from?
Wouldn't part of it matter, but it's part of his lineage. The thing is, all you guys want is the bait.
We don't actually have to send him there. We can tell him, and then I can bring him back.
Also,
I mean, actually, it doesn't actually matter where we send him other than here.
Well,
it's
I
a
mean, it
better
does.
lie.
It's not a lie.
No, it's a better lie if we tell him we can get into the Forgotten Realms, but we can't get into his childhood house. We're not that good. I can get you to the plane. You're awesome enough to find your hometown on your own.
That's a good way to put it.
And I can tell him I'm taking there, but I bring him back to Alanis, and Seer closes the gate. Poof, gone, done.
If Josh can remember where, and only Josh, because this
No
will be
pressure, Josh.
this is the if you know your host that well and everything he's talked to you about, I will allow you to pull a disadvantage card on Azerian, if you can recall.
Oh, and he will hold forth on that at length. I'm trying to remember where they were from, too.
Well, wasn't Alanis an island that you made on your own in the realms, right?
Yes.
But the players came from Forgotten Realms location.
A long time ago, the very first group, yes.
I don't think I know that one.
It only matters because two characters were the mainstays that came out of that original campaign.
It's like 25, 26 years ago.
Correct. That is why I'm also pushing it on one person, because he's been close enough to that person, and I know he's heard 100 stories by this person, and I know that character, and I know they've talked about a lot of stuff about it. So I'm using his podcast against him.
Yeah, you are. No. Oh, no. He wasn't from Greyhawk. He was,
Of course I don't know the answer. I'm not one of those people.
You have known people.
No.
You two are the babies. Well, Jacob would be teenage. Yeah, Jen's a baby in this.
Was it one of the Dales?
It was from.
Well, I mean, if you're talking islands, you're talking like the Moonshares.
No.
Go, Carl, pulling out the book.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I was trying to remember the name of.
Hold on. I think I know.
I mean,
Oh, this is beautiful.
it doesn't look like Lee's watching us either, which is the funny thing.
You would go bonkers if he was.
He'd probably be in
It's the analogy for the English Isles. But I don't think that was it.
I don't remember the name of the Dales. I know there's the Dale Lands. And,
There are a lot of Dales and
yeah, and there's one big one, but I don't remember.
Many Dales. The
many
Daggerdale, Hilldale, no, not Hollowdale. Where was Elminster from?
Shadowdale.
Dales.
Shadowdale.
Well, Elminster lived in wherever he wanted, so.
No, but his tower was in one of the Dales.
Meanwhile, Killian, what would you like to be thinking the group needs to do?
Figure out the name of this place that we need to take them back to.
That's the plan.
I want everybody in the realm on this problem. Didn't he send us something about all the background of all the...
No, this one was not in any. It's not in the timeline because this was pre-timeline.
It was backstory for characters before Alanis was.
Only 3 characters have this link to their story in Alanis of all time.
The Greystokes. So the Greystokes were based on Lewanika's love of Tarzan.
Mm-hmm.
They were they from Chult?
No.
No, he was civilized.
He has a lot of love for like
Tarzan was
dinosaur.
from England, though, so
That
maybe
part.
it's...
I will give you one more, Josh, and this is and now I should tone this down, but like, I just love to see you sweat. Remember, he hasn't let this go, and he's done it in your campaign. So that's telling you how much of a follower I am too. But it just shows you how funny history can be, and some things that like Lewanika is like clockwork.
And I think this is the only time he hasn't been watching us live.
That's funny.
I know, right?
It's fate. How else would I torment Josh as badly as this without fate?
You're tormenting Lee without him even being here, too.
Oh yeah.
So does he have a current character
Wait
that's
till
from
he
the same
does watch
place?
it.
No, because like I said,
No.
this happened a long time ago. They came here to Alanis, and then it got taken. Like they were right. Alanis was an island, not too far off the Moonshay Islands.
Yeah.
Way back in the day. But the thing happened when Silk finally got where she got was she basically formed the Dread Order, and her evil was complete. The Dread Realm took her and everybody in Alanis, thus trapping them in. So that was my way as a DM to the player pool. Was I don't really have a lot. This is my first time DMing for people I did not know, so I didn't have a world set up at the moment. I had Alanis, but that was pretty much it. It was very hard for me to kind of like, okay, how do I teach the world? It was like I was still learning how to become a DM. So it was easier for people to make characters with the histories they all knew because the books were all out there and said, come to Alanis, and then you're going to learn the realm fresh with whatever perspective you have. It's the old trope that DMs use all the time. Whatever background you are, you're going to be part of this cause, and no matter what, that's the way it is. It wasn't until I knew how I wanted people to have families. You were born into the crisis. So after this all happened, then people became like, well, you're the son of this, and you're the daughter of this. And guess what? Silk hates you, and you have these heirlooms, and they're already coming after you. So it was so much more easier to run campaigns because everyone was blood.
Oh, he's got it.
He was from Cormier. He was from Cormier.
He was from Cormier.
That's right. Because
You have your card.
Because he was playing in our actual play game. He played a Knight of the Purple Heart who was also from Cormier.
Yes.
That campaign died like a year and a half ago.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, but he was from Cormier. The Knight of the Purple Heart, the Knight of the Purple Dragon was from Cormier.
Yes.
If I
There you
remember
go,
correctly,
He's
it was
talking long enough.
Soothsail, if I remember correctly.
What was that?
I think it was Soothsail, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
But don't quote me on that bit. But he was definitely a Cormerian prince because his family owned a tea farm.
He was. Oh, yo, that is the other character. Yes,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
no. But Razan was just a scout in the military force that was for the elves in the area, and that's how he was trying to woo Kiri Haldane back then.
Yeah.
That was her name. Yep. Trying to remember the name.
All right,
of
Josh,
the half-elf
you
monster.
have you have your card. Azerian will have a disadvantage roll when you call it.
Pulled that one out.
You earned it.
So the plan is to meet with him, speak with him in political, truce form under a banner of truce. Talk to him and say, "Hey, we have an opportunity for you to go to a place to conquer that you have always wanted to conquer."
There's no shot I can talk him into this.
Now, same here.
Well, you don't have to say conquer.
To a place that your ancestors have never been able to get back to. And we're willing to do this to you so that we can have our realm back?
Not to you, for you. For you.
For you. Okay, for you. So how is it for him?
So he can rule his
So he can return to the
ancestral
land of
home.
his ancestors.
So he
Right.
can
Well, it's
let nobody in his
kind of evil in a self-interested way, which he will be willing to believe from us. We will sell out a different plane so that you leave ours alone.
Mm-hmm.
And
We can get you to the plane, but we can't get you to the specific place. But we know that you really want to go to here.
and where are we really going to send him?
I mean, we can send him there. Why don't
Yeah,
we send
why,
him?
who
We don't
gives
have
a
to
shit at
lie.
that point?
Why?
Why would we
How
do
does
that
your-
before? What,
How's that
what-
worse than sending him to some other port suckers?
Well, we were going to send him back to Alanis and close the gate.
Well, Alanis is in prison cell. Putting him back in his box is not the same as putting him into somebody else's garden.
Agreed. I mean, do we want to inflict him upon another realm, or do we send him to hell?
No, you can send him
Get
back.
out of
You
hell.
can send him back to Alanis. That is Cascade is correct.
Wait a minute.
We
Wait a
have
minute.
we have
No,
a
no, no,
better
no, no.
shot of making it happen if we send
No,
him
no, no.
there than lying to him. And sending him somewhere
Remember
else.
what Silk said, or remember how this all works. The two of them can't be in the same realm, and we know that this Alanis is a dread realm. If we don't put him there, and then we close the portal, Silk gets put back there, and he's somewhere else. Both of them are gone. We can't put him in Alanis.
No,
if we wanna
you,
get rid
you
of
actually,
him.
I will give you one thing. You know, Silk won't because Silk has churches or power bases in
Here.
the Drow City.
Yeah, we're not getting rid of Silk. She and the Raven Queen and any other gods she's brought with her are here now because they have worshippers.
But Silk will be considerably weaker once you do that.
Would she be weaker if we closed the portal and cut her off from her worshippers and Alanis?
Theoretically, yes.
Then we could clean up the worshippers here. It would be a titanic task, but I think we know some people who could help.
Here's the problem.
I don't know if I like that word
Yeah.
Titanic in that their phrase.
Well, Cascade has friends that are worshippers of the Silk Raven Queen.
Cascade earmuffs for a second.
And you also understand that might require Cascade herself.
I understand it would be against her interests to go against the god that she is very closely connected to, but if it's in the interest of the people and the greater good of Spero, would she then?
I suspect that she would make the same sacrifice any of us would.
I actually.
And she's already suggested that she would. Because she might get closed on the other side of the portal. That is a risk that we talked about.
Okay, so
I think this is it. This is the one. This is the plan.
how do we execute it? Who talks to the ancient dreadlord vampire king?
I think it has to be Killian.
It's not going to be me.
Yeah, well, I guess I'll have to do it.
I'll
I can probably bring some people with me.
Probably a poor choice.
I would probably have to be there if I'm going to be casting the spell, unless you're bringing them to me.
Yeah. No.
Well-
I'd rather not bring them here.
I'm sure this will be no small beating. I'm sure armies will be brought
Yeah.
as, you know, in
At least a
full-
contingent of
Yeah.
people.
There'll be a show of force involved on both sides.
You know, a little. Everybody's got to put on a little parade.
Okay. Is that the plan? Well, seems like the plan.
I don't think we're going to come up with a better one tonight.
Well, it took all the night, so I hope this is the plan.
It's as close to the plan I had laid out earlier today
Yeah.
as I thought it could be. It's better. It's refined on top of that. This gets rid of them.
Okay. So Cascade and Cy are going with you. What is Electo doing?
He has to come so he can play that card.
I mean,
It's true, he earned it.
I just am going to assure you, you do not want me to be the one who's speaking. I will be the representative of the person who disagrees with His Majesty's choice, but is following out of field.
No, nobody was going to ask you to speak for everybody and all this.
I'm happy to go with the entourage. I feel like I should send a message to Carme and let her know that I may be home soon and that we may have to talk.
Well, this isn't something that's going to happen overnight either. This is
No, I know, but getting a message. But the problem is that getting a message to them is going to be tricky. So
It's going to be very tricky because the God of Messengers is dead.
yeah.
That throws a wrench in it.
Cy knows Carme, actually. Would you be willing to message her for me?
When the time is right, I can use sending. Sure.
Okay, we'll leave that. We'll leave that as more of an out of game situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
We
part
need
of it.
25 words.
Yep.
Yeah, 25 minutes.
Was there anything else you wish to say? So you guys you have an idea how you're going to deliver this thing, or do you guys still need to kind of resolve that before we speed up time?
Well, you'd have to send a messenger of some sort.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I get that. I get that point. You wish to parlay and to talk to him.
Yeah.
I just gotta need to know how are you going to get him in to speak to you after marching there without meeting you on the field of battle to kill you. what is your pitch line, and do you guys need to talk about anything else in terms of how do you wish to negotiate before I have you in front of Azerian?
What could be our pitch line? We got a better deal for you. We got a juicier target.
You could be talking about your kingdom's bending the knee or peace, surrender, whatever. Just that's the first thing that can be there.
Yeah.
You wish to speak on terms.
So I think this is how I would approach the problem, right? The first thing that I would try to do is try to get on his side by illuminating that what he is doing is conquest and not heroism. Try to see if we can be like, hey, we know that this isn't what you want. If you want us to love and respect you, we're offering you a different path that will help you get there. And we have an idea. We have assembled the greatest minds of your vast kingdom, Your Majesty, and have come and have read the histories and have researched the greatness of the Greystoke I almost got it out. The greatness of the Greystoke family. We have researched and identified what has made that family so great, and have an idea for how we can make you the greatest among them. Pretend like we don't know that that's what he wants, I guess is kind of what I'm saying, right? But offer him the opportunity to be that, and see if we can kind of stroke his ego a little bit, and when we dangle the carrot.
Yeah, I'd like to continue to rule my ancestral home as I'm sure he would like to rule his.
Exactly.
And guess what? We have a way to get you there.
But here's the question: is Cass gonna send him to the Forgotten Realms, or is she sending him back to? Like I haven't heard a definitive on what the actual destination is.
I think the idea was
his
send
real
him
home, right? Yeah, his
Send
real
him
home.
back
Is that the
to-
bait, or is that the destination?
That's the destination.
So
Because I'm not sure that we would know that if we say, hey, we're going to send you to this place, and actually try to send him to this place, that might trigger the check, which I don't think that we can guarantee we would succeed upon. And the entirety of the crux of the plan, I think, in my mind, rests on him being willing to travel.
I don't think we need to take the chance of lying to him and saying we're going to send you home, but knowing that we're going to send you somewhere else. If we're
That
acting
would have to be the disadvantage.
if we're acting in faith, we believe we're sending him home, then he's
If need
going to
be,
know that.
that's, yeah, and if need be, that's where the disadvantage comes in, Mark. You're right.
Okay. I just want to make sure I'm on the same page.
So basically, when asked, if you're taking him to the realm that you're saying you're taking him, it's a persuasion check. If you're going to take him to a different realm, it'll be using the deception check. Just so people are aware going in.
You're not going to take him to the Forgotten Realms. You're going to take him to Alanis.
We're going to take him to what was that place called?
Cormier.
Where he's from? Cormier.
Cormier. That's in the Forgotten Realms. That's the bait anyway. So we're going to take him where we're sending him. Where we're saying we're sending him.
Yeah. So we're not lying to him.
Nope.
Right.
So if he has any way to detect if we're lying, it's not going to come up as a lie because that's where we're going to take him.
Just as an aside, my persuasion and my deception are equally not that great. You might be the one
Which is
talking,
fantastic.
Josh, but I'm the one who's going to do
You're
the
not going
spell,
to attempt
so...
to deceive him. You'll simply speak truthfully. You will speak truthfully.
Well, that's what I'm saying. My persuasion is equal to my deception.
Well, then why go for deception anyway? Then if it doesn't help. We just take them where we say we're going to take them.
Right. If we're
F
gonna
out
take
of
him,
our
we're gonna-
lives.
Well, I would imagine that if Killian is the one convincing him, I just get to try to back that up. Yep, that's what he says. That's what I'm going to do. Yep.
Cascade, I'm going to give you this. I'm going to type this to you because I want you to think about this on your own.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't like where you're going. I already know it because you do what I'd be doing.
Me or
Because
what?
I want you to think about this. Yeah,
Right.
I
nice.
know exactly what Ben's making her think about. I think.
I think I know what he's making me think about. I think.
Does it start with S?
I don't have anything yet.
So we're sending him a message of under a flag of truce, a banner of peace, to discuss terms.
Terms. Future.
And where are we going to say we're going to meet him?
Traditionally, it's neutral ground.
Right. So
The third place.
halfway down the river between New Greyheim and Kylos on the coast.
Someplace that doesn't favor an open field battle.
Well,
Any garlic farms.
the
This far
problem is,
enough away that he can't dig a trench with oil in it.
the problem is, tactically speaking, he's taken Hollowdale and turned it into a undead horde. So he'll be able to bring undead from there. If it turns into a fight, he'll be able to bring the undead from there to any part of the island.
Well,
Yep.
here's something else to consider. If he
Oh,
disappears, this is not what Ben sent me. This is Jen coming out. If
Yeah,
he disappears and I take him out somewhere, he's gonna we're still gonna have to deal with his forces.
Yes.
We would negotiate in good faith at that point with the Queen, and ideally, we would negotiate those terms before he left. We're
I
not
will
surprising him
say
already.
all you with Arcana proficiency would know that his armies would be devastated, especially the thralls, that they could end up even losing their thrall
Yeah,
abilities.
the undead will probably have, most of them will fall apart.
Right, and the mortals under his, they can go home under their queen, and we can make new arrangements with her.
Yeah, a vampire of his power, considerably removed from power, either death or exile, can change the landscape of the realm almost effectively immediately.
And his mortal agents will be easier to mop up when they don't have a brilliant super genius general leading them.
Right. And ideally won't want to even fight at that point.
Well, they'll find some way to find a new red hat and try what they're going to do again, but we'll just have to deal with that when it happens.
Cascade, when you made a decision, just let me know, and you can let me know in the chat.
And the upside of this is we've already made a mutual defense agreement with Laquette, which can
When you are ready,
bring peace to the realm.
when you're ready,
Yeah, put your hand down so we can see your facial expression.
when you're ready,
I mean, the
you
tears.
can.
Huh?
So group, when you're ready, you're going to send a letter to meet Azerian. Unfortunately, you're going to have to go to New Greyheim to meet him on his terms. He has all the power. So it is those who go are going to go into his courtroom, unarmed, to face him.
Unarmed.
What do you think he's going to allow to happen? You would have to go through his entire layers as a true master boss for you to go through.
That's what you would require, and it's respect.
True.
He may be evil, but he's still a king, and we need to follow decorum. And I'm never unarmed.
Well, decorum would be meeting in a neutral location. Run that out the window.
Well, I'm assuming Ben is saying there was negotiations, and we have to go to his place.
Yeah. Well, we don't have a choice, and he knows that, so
There's that too.
set those terms. Because if we say no, then he just keeps doing what he's going to do.
Right. Because I'm certain he could absolutely show up here anytime he wanted.
So I guess we're going to New Greyheim. Probably the shitty time of year too. Can't even see the sights. Probably fog all the time, drizzly.
At least all the attractions will be dead.
Probably don't even season their food.
Okay, Throkel and Ronaldus, are you going or staying?
I am making the bid that it is best for me to stay here to see to the city's defense in case of treachery, and that my presence is going to be nothing but antagonistic anyway.
Okay, you remain. Ronaldus, what are you doing?
I'm kind of siding with Roko.
Okay, you stay. All right.
I expect that the Queen's Guard will be present, and
All right.
that may go poorly.
Yeah. Electo. You are going.
Yep, I'm going with His Majesty. The one thing is that when I go to the ship to change back into my finery, because I've probably been wearing like street clothes, whatever, like my finest captain's outfit, I do leave, if we're traveling without weapons, I am leaving.
We're traveling with weapons. We're just leaving them outside.
Fair enough then.
Yeah, you're going to leave them before you see the king.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Fair enough.
I expect that they will have like a rack at the port.
Sheila will go, I'll take it we're transporting y'all to New Greyheim.
Do I unsheathe the sun sword before I put it on that rack, or?
If you want to.
Yeah, I mean, I would assume that, Your Majesty, I would assume that we are providing you transport.
Yeah.
Yep. So I would tell Sheila that we are indeed, we are setting sail. Make preparations, and we travel by daylight.
You may want to leave some people behind.
We're only taking 2 other people with us.
I mean,
No, yeah, Electo may want to ask Carme and his daughter to stay behind.
Carme and my daughter are far from here. They are not with me.
I wasn't sure where my sending spell went. So.
Yep. Far away.
Yeah, this is just
Next room
crew.
over.
This is just crew.
Dave's not here, man. Yeah. And if this does get nasty and we do need to fight our way out, you want my crew with me.
No, I wasn't talking about your crew. I was talking about your family. Yeah.
Look at these scallywags. That's who we want.
Yeah.
All right. Jen, you made a decision?
I have, but I wanted you to read that first.
Jen's gonna take them somewhere else.
I love things like this. This is why we
You do
talk to our
understand.
PCs. Who do you know and how well do you treat them? There's more power to somebody than you've been leaning on.
And in the back of my mind, Carl is like, is the Dread Realm really going to let him go somewhere else?
I know you guys have been DMing it. You're just like, I don't know. I know a lot more than this. How is this possible? God, my character's
Cornelius
stupid.
has no clue whatsoever about that, but he's got a little of an inkling.
I know. This is my shout out to my DM Lee Winika. It's like, God, if I can only bring Mira here, she'd be so helpful to things.
Lee started watching late, by the way.
He did, yeah.
We'll catch up.
Holy. So
Right after we started
before
talking
I
about
let you
stuff.
see the king, Jen, I need to have you write in the chat between me and you where you're sending him.
I know, and
No,
I
you
wrote
can
It's
do
something
it
okay.
in
in
the regular
my-
one.
It's okay. We're sort of leading away right now. All right. So
Right.
in the boat, friends left behind. You guys are now sailing north to against the current, so it's a bit of a battle. The boat's really having to push itself up to New Greyheim. So that leaves Electo, Samadas, Killian, Cascade, who in heavy debate.
Cascade looks sick, but she usually doesn't get seasick.
Yeah, she ain't
This is
sick because of the water. Making a decision. Was there anybody else that you wish to have taken on this. You did have Lace and Electra. Electra definitely would come to protect the king.
Yeah, I was gonna say Electra's gonna protect the king, obviously.
All right.
What does Lace think? Does she think she'd be of assistance?
She doesn't know Azerian. He was past her time, so she could stay she could stay back as a just in case resource should everything fall apart. If that's what the king wants, she will give you that one. She will definitely give you that courtesy.
I think that's probably a good idea because we don't know how he feels about her.
Well, he wouldn't know her either, but if he knows that if he heard somewhere that she's from there, maybe that would change his.
We don't know how he feels about her bloodline and all that. So.
He would if she was a great hero, he would know the name, and he may or may not react well to that.
Right. He may react well, he may react poorly, but we don't know. All right. Well, here we're marching to the last to the death of our characters. So let's make it good, guys.
Everybody's marching off to their deaths.
Hey, I look damn good. I'm wearing my really nice shirt.
Okay.
I'm wearing my best armor.
He's got so many frills.
You still have time to decide anything
ruffles.
between. All right, so Electra's going, Lace is not going. You're on the boat.
See if he wants to come.
Is there? You can. That was the other thing. Is there anything you want to reach out to other people or beings to make I don't know, for whatever reason.
Dear Zeus.
Hey, time to shit or get off the pot, bud.
Yeah.
Dear Zeus, if you're reading this right now,
What's the call?
Right. Dear Zeus,
I will. On our first day out, I will send to Verquillen a very short version of what we're going to do. We're going to attempt to.
Do we even want to send that?
What?
Can that be intercepted or found by?
We're not going to lie to him anyway.
I know.
Even if he did intercept it, we're not lying to him. It'll something along the lines of.
Might be better if he intercepted it.
You assume that the sending spell won't be intercepted by a mine? That's a lot more trickier than, unless you guys are talking about it now.
I'm saying what I'm telling Verquillen is not a lie that we're going to do anyway.
No, I'm just letting you know in theory, just the spell. Okay.
Right. No,
Verquillen will reply, "Good luck."
It's sort of a heads up for him, basically.
Thanks, Big Bean.
May Danu give you the luck that you need. And if there's a dark chance, call on Loki.
All right.
All right, you got his number?
Yeah, we know the name.
Verquillen says to call on Loki.
He said in a dark
There's
chance. He
another
did.
new guy?
That's how dire he's kind of telling it.
Yeah, we don't know who this Loki guy is, though. So he could be a helpful person. If Verquillen's
I'm
telling
not
us-
sure who this Verquillen guy is now.
I'm sure after, if we survive Azerian and getting rid of him, we're gonna find out who this Loki fella is. And his friends.
God, this is gonna go so badly. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, basically.
So badly.
100%. We're talking Maury Povich percentages here. 110%.
You are the father.
Wait. No, that could be the thing. We could be the Dreadlord coming out of this.
Ooh, I'm listening.
I'm listening.
Jacob,
Jacob,
kidding.
that's what I asked for earlier. Jacob, though, roll me a d20 because you said that.
Do I want to pass or fail?
You don't know.
You want to roll really, really high.
I definitely don't know. How about a 17?
That's a pretty good roll.
I thought that dark gifts were normally a D100.
Oh, he's been making us roll d20s.
The chances are better.
Yeah.
Okay, while the boat is on motion, I will go back to our captain and advisor. Is there anything of your own volition that you wish to do within the city that the king does not know? You don't want the king to know about?
Oh, me?
No. This is
Oh,
Captain
us.
Throkol and Relanavis. In the city.
I'm glad you specified which captain.
I forget there's so many of you captains now. I kind of figured when I said the city.
So many captains.
So many captains right now.
And still one ship.
As a wizard, there's really only one Greek god that's a god of magic.
Well, now is only one captain, so we cleared that up.
So Rodanius will probably try to find, and it will probably be rather difficult to find an actual temple of Hecate.
You want a temple of...
He's from this area. He probably would have an idea if he hasn't already been there.
Temple of what?
Hecate, the Greek goddess of magic.
Oh.
She's not really one of the nice gods.
Let's see. You know there is one of Zeus, Hera, Ares, Aphrodite, Apollo, Artemis, Poseidon, Hades, Dionysus, Hermes, and Athena.
Okay.
Those were allowed to be in the city.
All right. Let me check something. I just want to check on Hecate because she's like the only Greek goddess of magic.
He's checking the phone book to see if they're in there.
No, I'm looking to see if she has other things that are part of her domain.
You probably going to check in with our friends at the Cult of the Night Garden where they have the unofficial churches.
Yeah, probably.
While he's looking, Mark, is there anything you wish to do?
She has.
I'm going to call for reports on all the preparations that are being done and take a tour around, give pep talks to the people that are working there. Everybody's working so hard. This is going so great. Plans are in motion. Stay sharp. And move on. Just do my job.
Jacob, give me another D20 roll.
The last one was 17, so this one we're going back to the 1 or 2. No, 12. All right, we're going in between.
You're going lower. Thank you, though. All right. So, Carl, what are you trying to do? I mean, trying to call upon her?
Yeah, basically, he's just going to offer prayers to her. And as a wizard, I figure he's probably been offering prayers to her, not necessarily like worshiping her as like, hey, I'm a great follower, because
Yeah.
I mean,
Just every once in a while, you're throwing out.
Well,
Okay.
no, he's like, okay, she is the goddess of magic, and as a wizard, it would be incredibly disrespectful of me to not pray to her,
Okay.
not worship her appropriately.
So you reach out to give her some faith. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Shout out.
The ship arrives at New Greyheim.
Hold on, I think Jen wanted to have a quick conversation with me while we were on route.
Yeah? Okay, go ahead.
I was having it, you pain in the ass.
I know, but we're on a small boat, and this isn't something that people would miss.
What are you two whispering about?
Yeah.
You're on a small boat full of my crew. I would know what's going on.
Yeah, it started as something simple that wouldn't be a big deal. Then she said something else. I'm like, whoa, that part's big.
All right, so while they were whispering, you say something that kind of brings the crew's attention to your conversation a bit. So you
What did I say that called your attention and made you go whoa?
well, no, you can continue the conversation from there.
I think you probably know, trustworthy one.
We'll let you be whispery.
Hey!
We'll let you be whispery.
Okay,
The
so
Samanas respond, and then you guys now will
Cy is like
speak the
taken
roleplay.
aback at what a comment. He's like, "You're going to be ageless. Of course, I expect to see you again. Why would I have to do that?"
it takes me a long time to get back here, if you don't see me for years, you best be ready to kill me.
Why?
You the Terminator?
I won't be who I am now.
I don't understand why.
I'll be stuck there with him.
I will change you.
Oh.
It doesn't matter if I sent him to a princely realm, if I sent him to the hell realms, if I sent him to the fire realms. If I got stuck there and you didn't see me for years, I will not be me.
Okay.
So you'll be able. Oh, I'm not in that conversation. I'm listening with a cop at the door.
I'm going to do whatever the hell I can to get back soon, right away. But if I can't, and you don't see me, I won't be me.
All right. I understand what you're saying. I get it. I don't like it, but I'll respect your wishes.
Thank you.
All
There's a
right.
guy hauling up a rope and he goes, "I'll kill you, lady."
That's what she said. She's like, if you don't see me, kill me. Like, what? Like, that's not small. It started with, hey, just make sure you have the steel gate still ready. I'm like, yeah, no problem. Done. And she's like, and if you don't see me, kill me. I'm like, what, wait, what?
I said, if you don't see me for a long time.
Yeah.
Don't worry, they'll manipulate time and send you back yesterday.
We'll know that you turned evil. You'll have an eye patch.
Maybe you
I'm
go.
already a pirate.
But you don't
And
have
a goatee.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
She'll have a goatee.
A twirly mustache.
No. A goatee. Star Trek.
I'm too sexy for a mustache.
Both.
A goatee and a knife. All right, I just wanted that out there because.
All right. Does anybody wish to follow up or anything, or are we good?
I think we're good.
Okay. When you guys get close to Gray,
Ashley's not good.
when you get to close to
Are
New
we
Greyheim,
good? We're selling out another plane.
well, all right.
We might be ready, but are we good?
New Greyheim has definitely gone through some transformation. It is definitely looking many banners, pretty much of a red field and a horse, black horse, on a lot of it. It's a lot
And
more
a
of
cherry
that.
tree?
No cherry tree. Pretty much portrayed, showing the dominance. You see many soldiers. There is probably a couple companies that are outside of the city, as you see, as well as guards and people like being checked and all that stuff coming in. When you kind of move up with the boat, a vessel moves up to come to inspect. You guys, Captain Electo, will kind of like discuss. You guys have formal papers showing who you are, and he will.
As that's happening, I will take over the galley, and I will invite our group down, specifically Killian, and I am going to cast Hero's Feast.
Okay, so you guys all have that going on.
What's Hero's Feast?
Type that into the chat so people can
Yep.
know the power. All right. As you guys get that, that's now being transferred over. You guys will be pulled in. The boat will be secured, and you guys will be about ready to leave the ship. So you've got the hero feast going on as that's happening. Is there anything else anybody wishes to do while you're being secured to the docks?
Does the city look like it's as we walk through? Does it look like it's in good shape? That people
Yes.
are being treated well?
It looks like in amazing shape. All right. As you come in, basically a unit of about 10 men. They basically are wearing just white tunic cloths around their body with the Greek helms, and they have these bronze shields and red cloth from them. You are assuming that this must be the Red Curtain, the Queen's elite guard.
Good call on my part.
I'm assuming that we have some sort of letter of marque that's letting us pass through.
Yeah, you already gave it to the guy, the dock master, who's basically secured your ship and got that in there. So they came up and go, "You will follow us."
Follow.
All right. You're escorted through the city. Basically, as you're viewing the city, you can see it's industrious. It is pretty much similar to sort of America in terms of its industry, but not during like a renaissance. There is definitely plenty of resources. People are working. People are buying. There is just soldier after soldier. Like, they are patrolling the streets. A patrol of a dozen. Pretty much every 15 to 20 minutes, you guys see kind of moving around the street. But the people seem to be good. There's no damage to pretty much anything particular. But who has passive perception above 20?
Not me this time.
Yeah.
Perception, no.
Nope. And Killian, no.
Nope.
Cascade? Can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
21
You
is
have
my
21.
passive.
Okay, you will see that that the Temple of Athena is in ruin, as well as the Temple of Hades. Two of the temples that you go by.
I don't mind Hades. I don't like Athena.
I will allow you to do a passive perception. I mean, a active perception.
Who?
Cascade, because this is something that kind of popped in as you look about. You guys just basically see a very industrious city. You see patrols, all that going on.
Can we look to see if we see a church? Can I look to see if I see churches I don't recognize?
Yep, you may give me that roll. So, perception check out of you. What was your roll,
That's a
Cascade?
14 for me.
14. Okay.
I rolled 2, but I have plus 11.
I got a 9.
Okay, you guys do not see anything different. You guys are really, I mean, it's a very straight walk. You guys don't get to explore a whole lot. So,
Actually, you know what? I have an inspiration I've never used. I'm going to roll that again.
all right.
For
No one said
funsies. I rolled a 2 again. That die is going away.
Yeah, put that in jail. That's not
It's
meant
my
to be.
third 2 tonight. Probably on that die.
All right. So, again, like down the street, nothing really being led your way to kind of figure all of that out. As you, the castle is immaculate. It is well fortified. There are dozens and dozens of guards all over the place. Like, Azerian looked like he jacked up the army. So New Greyheim has soldiers everywhere. They are not the same. You can definitely tell they are different. They are red shields with like very Greek armor. So very Spartan looking in their colorization. And they are well placed throughout the city, throughout the castle, and through the streets that you see.
There's no undead here, though, right?
How are you going to figure that out?
I mean, obvious undead, obviously.
No, there doesn't seem to be skeletons or zombies. No, like there's nobody decaying
There
anywhere
could
like
be
that.
could be vampires or otherwise amongst the army, but nothing obvious.
I will also assume, Josh, that the rest of the friends left behind remained on the ship, except for I don't have her name. Except for Sheila.
Would I bring Sheila or Salador? Yeah, I guess Sheila.
Salador
Yeah.
will go with you too, but Sheila's definitely going with you.
So I would ask Killian. Killian, I can bring some of my people. Do you feel like we need additional muscle, additional eyes, or both?
Eyes.
Just eyes. I mean, muscle. Out of the crew, we're not gonna be able to get enough muscle if things go south. It's
Yeah. All right.
a
I
drop in
think
the bucket.
Sheila comes with me. Salador knows that he has the boat. Until I come back.
Okay, so just Sheila?
Yeah.
Okay.
Josh, did you see the message I put in? Oh, you
I'd
did.
say
Typing.
Sheila and whatever 5
Yeah.
of Josh's guys that he can name.
Yeah.
Whoever.
I would say Sheila and Salador would be invited to the feast. Because, again, Salador's going to be the one that... Look, if that boat gets attacked while we're gone, Salador's going to be the one that can defend it. So give him Hero's Feast, and if Sheila's coming with us, give it to her also.
Okay. All right. You are brought into the chamber. The king's throne is empty at the moment. All that is sitting there is a beautiful blonde woman with blue eyes. Killian will immediately recognize her as Queen Ismay.
Well, then I would recognize her as well.
Yes, you would also recognize her. Well. And she goes, "Greetings, King Killian of Kylos. Welcome to New Greyheim."
Queen, it's good to see you again.
Did they take all our weapons and everything?
Yes.
Did they take my shield?
No.
Okay. I would also bow next to Killian, and I would say, Queen, it is good to see you again. I know your family is changed their crest, but I would like to return this shield that we found on our adventure to you. It has your family's crest. It served me well, but it belongs with your family.
The gift is appreciated. One of her Queen's Guard with the red curtain come up and takes the gift, bows in front of you, and then retreats basically to the side. He doesn't leave with it. It's in the room from there.
Right. I know. I really can't wield the shield of another dynasty standing in their dynasty.
So, King Killian, what brings you to our city?
To parlay with your king and discuss our futures.
And what future is that?
The future of our kingdom and yours as well. The path forward.
Are you here for a boon, for bringing me back from the realm of Hades?
No. We did that because it was what was right.
You are a noble man. Much different than your brother.
Well,
Cy scoffs at that in agreement.
Josh, you're muted.
Like Electo chokes on whatever he's drinking.
She sees that she's made an effect on the party with her choice of call. So, what can my family do for your family and its allying kingdoms?
Is the king not planning on joining us?
If the event is important, he does have a lot of military campaigns he is addressing at the moment.
Oh, I understand that, but I thought that we were coming here to meet with him, and
Well, if you wish to stay longer, I can make sure that happens tomorrow night. Perhaps a dinner?
so he's not even in the city?
He has other matters at the moment, but I thought I would at least introduce myself and welcome you to the hospitality as our host for you to entering. I did not know this was a necessary timetable. Your letter was unclear at that moment.
Well, it appears we have no choice but to wait for King Azerian to grace us with his presence.
Very well. I will see that you need of rooms. I see 5 of you? Very well.
Yep.
She snaps her fingers to one of the guards. 5 rooms, please, for our guests. And he nods and goes, please, follow me. Alright. You are led down a hall. And then he kind of unlocks 5 doors. They're pretty, they're about 25 feet apart because it's a very huge place. And goes, each of your quarters, Your Majesty.
Thank you.
If you should need anything, there will be attendants at the end of the hall on both sides. And he bows and exits.
Are all the rooms right in the same wing, right near each other?
Yeah, they're just very far apart. It's a very big wing that goes down. The rooms are very spacious. Like each of the rooms have a kitchen, let's say a little small cooking area, dining room area, a more like somewhat like apartments, a living room, 2 bedrooms, a bathroom, and a offshoot balcony off into the courtyard.
I would take advantage of that balcony to scope out the city.
Okay. Again, you see much of the city at its height. King Azerian has made Greyheim. As far as you can remember, Sazo was struggling a bit. It seems like it has found resources and the people are thriving.
All right.
Wait, isn't New Greyheim filled with undead?
No, that was Hollowdale.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah, New Greyhound's just filled with the regular people that were there before.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was like, wait a minute, how can they all be thriving? That's
And the intelligent undead that are, hidden from our sight, but
All right, what else? You check. The city looks good.
I would like to go out onto my balcony and wild shape into a sparrow.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd like to overfly the city for a little bit.
Okay.
Just to see if I still see goodness. And I'm going to act just like a sparrow if I can, from tree to tree and flitting.
Yeah, okay. What does Electa like to do?
I mean, I'm going to talk to Sheila and see what she saw. I want to make sure that... I don't know. I want to know what she saw, what she felt as she go to the city. Extra perception.
Captain looks good. I mean, it's a pretty strong city. Almost a little better than Kylos. 2 cities aren't that far apart in regards, but I mean, this is definitely a military city. I mean, they are garnishing for war. There's several vessels that can attack for the sea. Not much. Obviously, the power's in the army, but Kylos would probably be outnumbered 50 to 1 in men.
Do you believe that His Majesty is not here?
I don't
Did you
know.
sense any sense of deceit from her?
I don't know kings, but I mean, if everyone said what they said, why would he? This just seems like a play on things, like it's a test. I mean, think about it, Captain. All the cards in your favor. One of your rivals shows up to your deck. You're just gonna jump up and shake his hand and give him a loaf of bread.
I'd be surprised if Azerian finds us to be his rivals after all.
Everyone's a rival at some point. You'd be a fool not to. He doesn't seem like a foolish one. He's not. You guys talked about he's not arrogant in terms of overconfident. So if he's calculating he's measuring everything. He's probably measuring us right now.
Yeah, I don't actually believe that he's not here. That's my point. He may not have seen us, but he's not away to be summoned by his queen.
Well, we should check with the king and see what he wants to do.
That's actually a good point, Killian. Are the 5 of us going to get together to discuss before dinner this evening?
I was going to say after I
think so.
so I'd go hang out with Killian.
I think we'd want to kind of make sure that we're all good and on the same page before we
Okay.
head down there.
So then I'll acknowledge to Sheila that that's a good idea and leave to go to Killian's room.
Okay, so we go to the king's room. Now what?
Cy, you already there?
Yeah, I'd probably be hanging out with him.
Yeah.
Just
I think, Your Majesty, I think we have to assume, naturally, in case this isn't obvious to you, we have to assume that we are being watched and that everything we say from here forward is known and understood.
I think that's a
I
safe
do.
assumption.
I also don't believe for a second that Azerian's not here.
Now, where would he be away on campaign that he could be here tomorrow?
Correct.
He's here. They're watching us, gauging what we might be doing. Someone might be visited in the evening. There's something that he's gonna try to work to his advantage out of this.
Cascade can turn into an animal, right?
yeah,
Correct.
Can she turn into any animal?
as far as I know.
You could ask her.
I thought Cascade, I thought you were gone.
She is gone.
Yeah.
You will find her
Okay.
gone.
All right. Yeah, I mean, we've seen her turn into animals. I don't know what the limitations are. We've seen her turn into small animals. I don't know if she could be something giant.
No. I'm thinking exactly the opposite. Turn into something very, very small and do reconnaissance in the castle.
I don't know for sure,
Nice.
but I think if she's seen the animal before, if it's small, she might be able
He's-
to replicate
He's a
it.
vampire. He sleeps in a coffin, right? Can't cross running water, can't eat garlic.
I think that's also disrespectful of our host. He's watching every move we make.
I'm not sure how the rest of this factors into the disrespect scale.
When we meet tomorrow, he could be asking us why we were sneaking around our castle, putting us off our guard, making us explain why we'd violate his hospitality and the hospitality of his queen.
Because this isn't. We're not here because of his hospitality. Hospitality would have been meeting
We
us
are
on neutral field.
specifically here for politics. That is how we need to get to it. So we need to play the political game. We need to do politics, and that means
And we don't know
respect.
where Cascade is.
True too.
Fair enough.
Where is she? She's already sneaking around, I guess.
You need to put yourself in his shoes. You're putting your guests through a test. You know you're putting them through a test. And you need to understand how he's going to respond, how you would respond when they went sneaking around your castle. We sit, we wait, we be the honorable people we are, we await his audience, and then we talk to him. If he were to come in the night and try to manipulate us, scare us, that would also be disrespectful and dishonorable. We are here in his hospitality. One good turn deserves another, and a bad turn deserves another.
Fair point.
About an hour and a half, a Spero will arrive on the balcony.
Shoo! Shoo!
Wow, that's a pretty bird.
And then she'll flit over the balcony, and then Cass appears.
Wait, does that make this Streams of Spero?
Touche.
So, you had a look around, we're assuming?
I did.
How's the city seem to you?
It seems normal. I didn't see anything strange or weird or anything outside of what I'm used to seeing in a large group of people. The temples to the god Athena, Hades, Zeus, Hera, Apollo, Artemis, Hermes, they're all in ruins.
That doesn't surprise me.
And I saw temples to the Raven Queen and Silk.
I will say
That's
for
not
you,
supposed to be
because this is something I didn't type, but I'll let you know because you're going to say it. Temples to Ares, Poseidon, Dionysus, Aphrodite, Persephone, and Hephaestus have not been touched. They are still operating.
So,
Say those names again.
you can assume those are the ones that are
Ares,
cited with them.
Poseidon, Dionysus, Aphrodite, Persephone, and Persephone, Hephaestus are still operating as normal.
Gee, I wonder why.
Persephone's still there, but Hades is gone. What about Demeter, her mother?
Hera?
No, Demeter is Persephone's mother.
You just don't see a temple, ruined or otherwise.
Okay.
Might not have been there.
Right.
I mean, I'm not there, so I can't say anything.
Correct.
I mean,
There are a number of taverns. All of them are busy. People are coming in and out. It's active. I will also say, Spero, that since you're Super Spero, you saw distinct, different military, like very similar military assemblia, heraldry, but there are definitely different uniforms. So they are very, very organized to very specific duties.
So I say that too.
it's not surprising he wants to be the greatest, and his city is going to be run efficiently, and it's going to be run cleanly. And none of this surprises me. It's worth noting the gods that were spared, I guess. Yeah, that's it. I mean, I say we just wait till dinner.
Okay. Killian, was there anything you wish to do?
Nah. Not that I can think of.
Okay.
The only thing that I would say is, depending upon when Azerian returns, that dinner that I provided you on the ship may not be effective. I might have to do it again for breakfast. I'm just saying.
Well, there's nothing we can do about it, so.
Provide the breakfast too, then.
I can do that. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Right.
I would actually be when in our downtime, I would be talking with Killian about the things I missed, reminiscing about before, just trying to be casual and not so subtly show Azerian, because I don't have subtle bone.
Don't
We're
be
normal
suspicious.
people.
Don't be suspicious.
No,
Suspicious. Don't
we're
be.
normal. We're normal people. We've seen our share of trauma and stuff, so we understand. I mean,
All right. 6 of the Red Curtain show up to escort you to dinner.
Hello, fellow humans.
They smile at you.
Oh shit, these guys aren't even human.
Okay, you're taking the dinner now. As you sit to dinner, you see Queen Ismay there. She is also sat next to her is another woman. She seems to be in wizardly robes, long black hair, but she has piercing, eerily blue eyes. Young 20s there as well. There doesn't be anybody else there, but there's definitely enough seats for you to choose. You can sit close to them or sit a number of chairs away, like 5 or 6 chairs away from them at this dinner table, if you choose so.
I'm gonna follow Killian's lead.
Exactly, and I think that all of us should sit as close to Killian as possible in between any of the other people at the table and Killian, as would be proper protocol.
Ben, where are they sitting at the table? Head of the table, middle of the table?
She's at the head of one end, and the other woman is sitting like right next to her in the corner. But you can sit like at the far end, which would be like 10 chairs away from the queen, or you can sit much closer, like all of you kind of sit on her side of the table. It's up to you. All the play sets have been set up, so you can choose whatever. They didn't distinctly give you an idea where you wish to be.
Are those the only two people sitting down?
Yes, there's nobody else in the room except Queen's guards who are surrounding you.
Yeah, standing around. They're not sitting.
No. They seem to be the only two people of importance to have you that can dine with you.
Where are you sitting, Jake?
Shit.
You can make some kind of roll and ask Ben. I don't know what roll, but
Wisdom, yeah. What's the decorum of the situation call for?
Yeah, is it? Would it be
Well,
the proper decorum?
okay, I'll help. If you wish to show more posing, you would definitely sit at the other end of the table to portray that you are not aligned. If you are trying to conform some type of...
Sit right next to her on the other side.
Yes, you would sit as close as possible, especially if you sat to her left, which is the open seat. You would be showing signs of whatever, like you would be showing signs of obedience to her. Like you would be definitely sucking up in etiquette form. If you fit midway, you're midway. So that would be the etiquette sitting in that regard.
Probably sit midway. I don't want to
Midway.
suck up to her. I don't want to be defer to her like that.
Okay. Bye, Mark. All right.
Good night, Mark.
So you others, will you sit in between him and the queen, or will you sit across him, or will you sit somewhere, whatever? Or
I
not
sit
still,
right next to Killian.
like on his away from the queen, or in between him and the queen.
I sit to Killian's right.
Okay, so you are between him and the queen.
That's fine.
Electo.
Was that not what you thought?
Didn't care. It was being on the right hand side.
I would sit to Killian's left.
Okay, you can sit across him to the other part of the table if you wish to.
Sure. Yeah, that's fine.
So directly across him, and Sheila will
to my
sit
right then.
exactly across from Samalius. So she is between the wizard lady and the queen. So Cascade, you're the only one who has not seen it.
So I'll sit to Killian's left.
Okay.
You need to turn into a cat and sit at the head of the table.
Hey, she has that cat.
I know.
She
Just
goes,
sitting like in the middle of the table.
Yeah.
"Greetings again.
Push silverware off.
Thank you for coming to dinner.
Thank you for hosting us.
She raises her hand, and attendants come, and red wine is poured in front of all of you.
How apropos.
Oh, good.
She goes, "You are waiting for my husband. I am hopefully that the arrangements are adequate for you."
Yes, the accommodations are more than fitting.
I'm glad. To my heroes that have rescued me, of course, I wish to make sure that you are comfortable and as happy as possible.
Thank you.
We appreciate the
Much
hospitality.
appreciated.
You did not come with your wife and your daughter, I understand.
No.
They are remaining back at the city.
Yes.
I see.
Yeah, Josh, that's where he is.
You are with... Electa, why have you returned back to the Garden of Gaia? If you don't mind me inquiring. I mean, this is just a social setting after all.
My friend and my king called for counsel, and I offered it.
Yeah. Oh.
We
It's a
have
pleasure to
been
see you
through
again.
much together.
You are doing well now, Captain.
As well as a man of my station has allowed to be. Correct.
I hear you have
I
a new
appreciate
ship
you saying so.
and a new title.
Indeed.
You've done well in Jackson City. Jacksonport.
The tides have been with me, that's true.
Poseidon must favor you very well. You have always been a strong captain.
Carme sends her blessings also, Your Majesty.
Oh, I am happy for her. You have a daughter, too, I hear.
We do.
Congratulations.
Absolute vision of beauty.
I wish I had the same fortunate bliss as what you've both got, moving on, and with beautiful women as your wives, bearing your children.
She very thankfully looks like her mother.
Oh, Carme was a fascinating woman, indeed. I'm glad she's doing very well.
Thank you, Your Majesty.
So are you here to serve in the Navy of the Kylos, or you were just as a free privateer?
I have largely. I'm not a privateer. I am not a military. Private contractor now.
He's a trusted friend and advisor.
Ah,
My days of adventure on the high seas are behind me, and for younger men.
but
When you've been through the ordeals that Electo and I have together, you form a bond and a trust that is rare to find in this world.
yes. But I heard you were quite an infamous pirate hunter in the time of Jacksonport and still active. It is your wife that is not sailing as much.
I mean, I was quite active for some time, and I have information which is very valuable to those who continue the trade.
I hope to continue our conversation much after we deal with whatever His Majesty has brung for Kylos.
It'd be an honor, Your Majesty.
And Samadas, a man who has helped freed us. How is it that you have returned?
A little bit of luck, a little bit of maybe a little bit of a lot of luck, and apparently some machinations from the gods.
And I must say, of all that are remaining, it is a blessing to see you, Titan Brine.
Hi, Your Majesty Lady, my Lady Majesty.
I understand that you are still captaining my husband's ship. Have the crew been sufficient for your services?
Your husband's ship.
Yes, we sent a vessel that was to help you along, your friends, to move this situation for the goddess Silk and the Raven Queen.
I haven't been on board my ship in some time. I haven't been able to get back to my crew.
Oh. Pity. Hope they have did
Jen's
well.
probably only been a few weeks.
That's some time for somebody who's lived her life on the sea.
How is Vivian doing now that she is back with her man?
Who's Vivian?
HK's wife.
Oh. Well, okay, but I'm Cascade. I don't even know who the hell that is.
You do. I think she's been in and out with your group.
Mm-mm.
She had to show up for the
That's the only time you're right. That's the only time that
Yeah.
Cass would have met her. She seems pleasant enough. I don't really know her.
You did kind of must see her a little bit in Greenwood because she's building a mansion. Remember, she was making HK do that.
That's
too.
right. But still, she didn't have a lot
Yeah,
of
not a lot of
with
interaction
men.
with her, no. But I do want you to know you know her.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
She seems pleasant enough.
And the two drow, Obsidian Ravens, they're doing well with her?
How do you know all this?
They were here at the castle. We took care of them while your group, HK and Zindrid and Alexki and Firebrand all had to adventure very difficultly and were very concerned about her pregnancy. So my husband and I protected them here in New Greyheim. We consider them friends.
Mr. HK's wife and
Yes, the Obsidian Ravens. They remained to guard her personally. It was personal attendance part of it, but she had all the lifestyle and care that she needed, and she actually loved it quite a bit until she left. I think that was after she left the Dark Hills or went to the Dark Hills, one or the other. But then she went back to Greenwood. I hear that she's settling in there now that the land is more your party's property.
that's good. That's, I believe, where Mr. HK would have wanted her to be.
Well, good. I'm glad. I hope the children are well.
Me too.
Now, what brings you into the garden as a Titan of Silk?
I was traveling with Mr. Cy.
Oh.
And he's my friend, and in doing so, I've met his other friends.
Oh, that is well. Have you reached out to your goddess?
Yes.
Good. Will you need to take time to go to her church?
I don't think so.
You are a key piece to that faith. It'd be very important for High Priestess Lana McCary to see you.
Shit, she's got a name.
I'm sorry, who?
High Priestess Lana McCary. She's the High Priestess here in New Greyheim.
And she's got a last name.
Two names, god damn it.
Well, when Ben first said it, I was like, Zootite? What? If I have the time, I will try to get over there.
Well, you have time. My husband is doing some. There has been an uprising in Ashkeep, and he's trying to maintain that. He should be here within a couple of days. So, a few hours of your time, I can make sure the amenities will be taken care of.
A couple of days. We were hoping to see him. Honestly, we were hoping to see him today, and then, if not today, then tomorrow.
Oh, I thought most of this was a social visiting. I did not realize a lot of this was some dire reason. What is the dire reason that my husband would need to be here for this meeting?
I don't want to step on anyone's toes and speak for them.
Deception check.
Oh, yay, because I do those so well. I mean, she wouldn't want to step on anyone's toes. That's 21.
Okay. So keep talking.
Actually, I take that back. That's a 19.
Okay.
I added too much.
Still good.
I wouldn't want to step on anyone's toes. I'm here as a friend. I'm not here as the spokesperson.
Spokesperson to King Killian.
I would certainly not speak for the king when he's sitting right here.
Oh.
Yeah, we'd come to meet and parlay with your husband based on, figuring out what would be a mutual way forward for both of our kingdoms, given his recent conquests.
Oh, I'm I'm sorry.
in action.
I'm sorry, Killian. King. I did not know you felt threatened. I can definitely assure you, you are not threatened by us.
Well, it is good to hear that coming from you. But I would still love to meet with your husband and have that discussion with him as well.
Is it urgent then, or not?
It's always urgent when it comes to the future of our kingdoms.
Give me a persuasion check.
Is it not? 21.
Okay. Of course. I imagine your people, and I guess we have become off very aggressive. I can see that. I will send a message to him immediately. I will try to retrieve him as soon as possible, if that is good for everybody.
Yeah, so this is the sooner possible, that would be great.
Very well. A well-cooked fish with a lemon sauce is brought out for everybody, even the king and her assistant. Does everybody have a fine meal?
Yeah.
Yummy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Sure.
cool. All right. So basically, dinner will go appease. You definitely feel uneasy. You definitely see a lot of what's kind of going on. We will shoot for one more time. See if we can actually rope in the fish as we are fishing for the king in this plan of action, which is a good one and a fun one. But there's still some obstacles we're going through, apparently.
I like it.
Well, we couldn't finish things with them not here.
True. All right, May. What is easiest for Mr. Josh Newton here? Because I think a lot of it goes around.
Let's see.
And the 19th is out.
That's my birthday, woman.
Well, but you already scheduled.
Yeah.
Done. Is that old ways?
26?
That's why.
26 is fine?
26 is fine, yeah.
26 is
Memorial Day
Memorial Day
weekend.
weekend.
No.
Yeah.
No? 26 is not good?
I'm
It's Memorial Day weekend.
Is that bad or good?
Okay, I'm fine.
I'm not doing
I just
shit.
want to make sure people knew.
It's got
Sunday night of Memorial Day weekend isn't a big deal for me.
Yeah, it shouldn't be
That's-
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
because I get to sleep in the next day.
Yeah, so you'll be definitely exhausted after that. All right.
I'm the real one that has to work next day, so yeah.
Yeah, same. All right, let me-
Aren't you your own boss though now?
That is true. I am my own boss.
Well, congratulations on the
Okay.
new job and the new employee.
Yeah.
Like all married men, you aren't.
The
their
employee's
boss,
an idiot.
though.
My boss is a
All right.
jerk.
So we are planning on the 26th, back 7 o'clock, to hopefully see where this chapter resides. Same time, though, Josh, as soon as you and Glenn can give me a Sunday here or there that doesn't conflict with either the 19th or 26th, let me know, even if it's something a little in June, because I can do you guys in a session. Maybe even if it's not on a, if we can kind of maybe plan around a day in May. I think around the 20th through the 25th. If there's a day between that works for the two of you, and you guys would like to resolve your two characters, Androsius and Zindred, going to Zeus,
Yep.
I should be able to fit that in during that week.
Okay. Yeah.
Hopefully, at least one of you survives that.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, yeah. We'll see.
I mean, Georgia's been dead already, right?
Totally, exactly. What,
Yeah, it's not Androsius, I think. Josh doesn't really care about what Androsius. He's lived his life. But definitely Glenn trying to figure out how well Zindred gets out of it is a much more...
Yeah.
Excuse me.
And
difficult
Drosius figures the only way that he's going to be able to get a drow to go ahead and be accepted by the city of the elves is if he goes with her.
Yeah, no, I understand why you did it. It made complete sense to you. It was Josh, Glenn choosing it that was like, okay, I get it, but
Yeah.
Glenn, talk about the tallest mountain. So,
Right.
He definitely jumped on that sword hard, which is cool.
Yeah.
But-
It's the Alani's way to do it.
yeah,
So,
it totally is. Great
If it-
great role playing, guys.
He has
Though
the
I want to say
trickiest
thank
thing.
you.
He has the hardest thing.
If it worked, Ben, don't forget that that Cass tried to send a message through the Raven Queen through that one Raven she was talking to.
Yeah,
To
but
Zindred.
it got messed
Let's
up.
just say,
It got
if
messed
it
up
were.
when you let Silk in on you.
No. That one night when I was trying to use divination, and I talked to a Raven that just randomly showed
Oh
up.
yes, well that was a different effect as well. But now you're kind of definitely more bonded to Silk than the Raven Queen.
Turns out it was just a crow. Thought it was a reason.
No, it was kind of there, but there's manipulation going on. Manipulation. I think you guys are starting to see a little bit more of the Raven Queen. I know. Woo! Woo! All right. Thank you very much. We will see you guys in a hopefully 4 weeks, I guess.
Yep.
Thanks, guys.